Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tides of Death. How are my favorite players doing this week?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Yes, recovered from COVID.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm allowed out of the house in 2 days' time. Can't wait.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Anything planned for your big return to society?
Well, no.
Are you even going to
Fran's
leave the
going
house?
No, probably not. Fran's going away for the weekend, so I've got the house to myself, so I'll probably just sit off and do nothing. Maybe play
Nice.
Twilight Imperium for
Mm.
10 hours.
Nice.
Sounds like a good time.
Mhm.
Well, before we do our recap of where we were last time, let's get some seafaring or piracy facts. I believe there's one of them lying about right now.
That's right, Koibu. And this one is about buried treasure. Did we do a fact about buried treasure?
Oh.
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
Well, people are going to be a little bit disappointed because we don't really have any buried treasure. It never really happened. Most pirates weren't career criminals. They were basically doing the maritime equivalent of like knocking over a couple of corner stores and maybe hitting a bank, and then you sell off everything you can, and then you try to like re-enter normal society. So nobody really had the time to amass enough money to be worth burying. On top of that, any money you did make as a pirate, like these weren't the kind of guys who were thinking about their 401k. They were like, all right, I've got like €100 in my pocket. Let's go to the bar. Let's get messed up. Let's have a good weekend. They weren't building wealth. They were just getting by. These were people who were down bad, trying to make quick money. So like if you were the average crewman after you like served your 1 or 2 years, which was like the average time a person would be a pirate, you might only walk away with like a few months of wages saved up when you get off the boat. So you weren't really burying treasure. Now, some of the bigger captains and stuff like that who were in the game for a long time, they made a lot of money, and maybe they had like a shipwreck somewhere with money on it, or there might be some money out there, but not very often because just as fast as the money was coming in, it was going out. The origins of the buried treasure thing started with a drama about William Kidd called like The Wizard of the Sea or something in like the early 1800s, I think it was. Basically, it captivated audience, and they all became enamored with the idea of finding his shipwreck in the Hudson River, I think it was. It was supposed to be laden with gold and treasure. And then there was like another late 1800 book by Robert Louis Stevenson, Treasure Island, that massively popularized the idea of buried treasure, and that has been fixed in the social consciousness ever since.
Oh. Really disappointing. But it's a great fact. Is it possible that these bigger people might also like knock off a ship and then like hide the treasure for a while for the heat to calm down and then go back and pick it up and sell it again? Like, aren't there objectives to burying treasure that aren't just 401k oriented?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it could happen, and I think, you know, in the context of maybe a fantasy world, people will do anything for any motivation.
Yeah.
I've got a counter fact, though.
Go ahead and take 6 percentage points, the extra percentage point, because it's, you know, treasure. So.
Yeah, counter fact, though. Didn't, what was his name there? Pablo Escobar. Didn't he bury like millions of dollars all over Colombia in the ground? So, you know, that's buried treasure. So, Potato said it hadn't happened in the history of the world, but he's lied to you.
Well, I didn't mean it hadn't happened. It just wasn't super, like, it wasn't as common as people think.
Mm-hmm. And Pablo Escobar's not a pirate. He is a pharmaceutical rep.
Ask the FBI.
All right. Where did we leave off with our party? You did a lot of killing last week, right? Who'd you kill?
But
Important people, yeah.
And
got
then what'd you-
obliterated by Neal blast, and then I think, did we hunt? Or was that it? We just finished the battle?
Captain Winters himself personally killed Father Hubert, what was probably a paladin, a high-level wizard, and a cleric. Personally killed them all, whilst Archie was scared for his life. Sale was frozen solid with terror.
Magical.
And Nilram was just running around, you know, playing with his wand.
I like how you told that story in character. That was very
Yeah.
And Archie, at the very end of the last episode, something happened to you. You had a conversation. What was that?
Yeah, so after Archie was under the effects of the fear spell, which he he didn't realize he was, he thought he got scared, and he thought he ran away from his crew and left them behind in danger. And there's nothing more that would bring more shame to Archie than to leave his crew behind for his own selfish reasons. So he was struggling with that a lot, and he remembered the pendant that Sail gave him. That was like a little artifact to Rohi. He remembered all the cool shit that Rohi was doing for Sail. So we went out into the sea, and he asked for Rohi, and he asked if he could give him strength. And something weird happened down there. There was a squid swimming in his mouth. He was breathing underwater for a while, and it seems like he made some sort of pact with Rohi.
Mm-hmm. Kind of crawled inside your mouth and down into your gullet, and you sort of inhabited you.
Yeah.
Well, sometime during this week of downtime, you're not going to see this, but one of your companions, at some point when Archie has his shirt off, will notice on your back, between your shoulder blades, there is a purple marking, sort of like a faint purple tattoo that is in position between your shoulder blade. Looks pretty harmless. It looks something like that, just like a small cluster of circles around a very large misshapen mass, or I shouldn't say very large, but a larger misshapen mass.
Yeah.
Have we seen this ever before, like on sale or anything, or no?
No, you haven't seen this marking on anyone before. But then again, you haven't really looked for it. If you had seen this somewhere, you probably would have just passed it off. It's never come up in an important way in the past.
Got it.
Well then, our party is going to be on the island for another week because why was that?
We just got a few tasks we want to clean up, and I reckon we've got at least a week before the White Prince gets here with his reinforcements.
Excellent. Well then, let's do those.
All right, so we've cleaned up the stuff from the battle and made our way back to the keep, right, or the tower where we were staying. And that's that now. We're probably having some drinks, celebrating. We've probably raided the cellars of the tower and of that house we were in. We've got some wine, we've got some rum, we're drinking. And, we're all celebrating a heroic victory. And I'll say, all right, well, I reckon we can lie around here for about another week before we should get the ship and get out, because we don't want to be here when the White Prince turns up. So I was thinking what we can do with our time while we're here. I'm going to find someone to put in charge of the town in our absence and see if we can't come up with a reason so they can avoid getting slaughtered by the White Prince once he arrives. Nelrim, I'm not sure what you're going to do. You've got that wizard spellbook. Can you do something with that?
Yeah, Norm will just sit in the tower and read magic the wizard spellbook as many times as he can.
Archie and Sail. The shipwreck, the ship that we sunk. There's got to be gold on there. I saw the knight take off his breastplate. Maybe find that as well. You guys can do some diving.
All right.
All right. Well, but for tonight, let's drink.
This might bite me in the ass, Koibu. For the first, I guess, 3 days, I'm going to use all of my spell slots for read magic, even the second and third level. You said that we could downcast.
Totally.
So, we'll do that for 3 days.
Magics does that get you per day?
It's gonna give me 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, and you are what
4,
level?
5, 6, 7. I'm 5th level.
You can't use.
Sorry, it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll be 7 spell slots.
7 times 5 times 2 is 70 pages, which should get you through this whole spell book in 1 day, actually. I think.
Perfect.
We're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we're going to have 24d6 plus, what's that? 10 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. It is, not 2d4d6, 24.
20.
Ooh, that's true. It's 96 pages. The spellbook is almost full, so it will take you 2 days to get through it. But I have given you access to it. It is called it's just called Hubert's Wizard in the journal area, and you'll see all the spell slots there, or all the spells in the book.
I only have bio and info. Maybe I need to refresh.
Ooh. Let me double check, make sure you have all the permissions you need. I gave it to PokemonChallenges and not MrMouton. I'm so sorry. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. You have all of those.
Cool.
Nick, you're at the tavern for a couple days with these folks, yeah?
Yeah, I'd probably hang out at the tavern on my lordly throne.
During the first night of drinking, it's also noticeable that Archie's like in a much better mood than he was before.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point during like when he's got a couple drinks in him, he'll walk over to the captain very seriously, and he'll put like his big arm on his shoulder, and he's like, "Captain, I just want you to know what happened out there. Me leaving you guys behind. It's never gonna happen again. I'll make sure of it. Okay."
I believe you. It's never happened before. Never happen again. We all have a bad day sometimes, Archie. Don't worry about it.
I'll give him a big drunken hug, and then I'll keep partying.
Mm-hmm. And sail. This area used to be clearly like in the process of coming over under the White Prince's grips and doing a divine quest for, well, maybe not divine, but doing a quest for Rohi, whatever Rohi may be. You were here to sort of eliminate the White Prince's presence, and you've done that. How does that, is there anything else that you need to do to complete your task? I know, like, the clearly stated goal has been done, but is there any other proselytizing that you're going to do here, or are you going to, like, keep a low profile?
I don't think, unless, like, a particular person has, like, stood out that is necessary or is significant for me to try to like bring into the fold, like perhaps the foot soldier that we have, whose name I forget. I think Sale doesn't actually believe that he's converting people to Rohi's embrace. He believes he's making people believe they're following Rohi, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a smoke and mirrors thing. Now, whether or not that's actually having an effect, he doesn't know. But he's making it up as he's going. So he's kind of doing it when it's convenient, and he'll probably prepare for the ceremony to convert the soldier that we have. I forget his name.
James.
Yeah, whether we do that here or whether we do it at home.
Well, on this first night of partying and drinking, maybe 2 hours into it, you are approached by a pair of people. The three of you, Nilram, I think, is studying, but the other three of you are approached by a pair of women. Captain, would you make me a charisma check?
Absolutely. What are these? A pair of women?
A pair of white-haired women.
Paint the scene for me here. What kind of
I want first give me the charisma check, and then I will paint the scene.
Well,
for
no,
you.
actually, I might not want to roll a charisma check.
This is a charisma check to see if you recognize these people.
Okay.
Yeah, you can save all of your charisma checks. For
Well,
later.
I recognize them.
Yes, these two white-haired people were some of the folks that were in the tavern that first night. That first night that everything got started and a man got murdered. These two women were amongst the more militant side who had been arguing for a more hasty removal of the White Prince's men. That their calmer, more level-headed companions denied. And they come up to the three of you at the table, and the first one will put her hands forward and introduce herself as Mary Beth. And she will say that she wants to join up with you. Wherever it is that you're going, if you're here to destroy the White Prince, if you're here to kick him out of towns, if you're here to, like, remove his presence from the Outer Rim, she's on board. The other one introduces herself as Shoshana, and she vehemently agrees. They both want in on whatever this is that you guys are doing.
Well, always good to see a fellow revolutionary, ladies, but it's a dangerous line of work we're in, you know. Killed a cleric, a wizard, and a paladin myself just last night. I'm not sure you'd make it 5 minutes. Can you fight? Or maybe you've got all the skills.
And
Let's
there's
see.
more than just fighting required.
Exactly. Gets cold out at sea.
Mary Beth says that she is a fisherman. So she's used to rowing boats. She's used to being on the open waters. She's good with a net. She's good with a fishing rod. You know, she's got purpose. She's got some skills that you could use. Shoshana, on the other hand, is a farmer. She pretty much has got agriculture and animal handling in terms of useful skills. But she's got the will, and she's willing to learn. She's willing to learn on the job.
Okay. Answer me some questions. This isn't the reason I'm asking this that you might think. One, do they seem charismatic? And two, are they attractive?
Let's see. Mary Beth has a charisma of 8. Shoshana has a charisma of 13. And their hotnesses... Mary Beth and Shoshana.
So between them, they're either relatively charismatic or quite attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies, you know, if you come with us, your life's never going to be the same again. I'm not sure how much farming you'll be doing or fishing. There's hard work on the seas, and wherever we call home, you know, it's not as green and pleasant as it is here. But if you're really in it for the revolution.
Let's see. Shoshana is in. She leans forward, slams her fist on the table, and says, I have had it with this. And it's nice to see somebody who's actually going around and making changes to the social order. This is a problem. White Prince is a mess. I'm in. Mary Beth is a little bit more level-headed, but after your sort of glowering, threatening, you know, this is going to be a hard life speech, she bobs her head a few times. You know, White Prince has done a lot of terrible things. We know some of them. We've seen some of them. I want to know what else has been out there. And maybe in 6 months, maybe in 3 years, I'll realize that he's not the monster that I think he is, or maybe I'll grow bored, or maybe I'll have all the answers I need.
Oh,
I'll leave
trust
then.
me, he's a monster.
Well, maybe. But I have to know the truth. I'm in it for now so that I can learn what's happening, so I can learn what's going on.
Well, I'll have to consult with my crew, but you understand this is no even split situation. We've all been at this together since the start. I can pay you what your skills are worth, but it's not going to be an even parties kind of deal here. At least not at first.
I get what's going on. It's not a concern for them.
I'll speak up and I'll say, Captain, I have only one question to ask them. How do you feel about Astaire? Do you worship him?
Mary Beth spits on the ground. Absolutely not. Never. Shoshana shrugs and says, Martha is my goddess of choice. The two of them are related. I think Astaire has his place and his purpose in the world, but this is an abomination. This is not how it would be done. Not how it should be done.
And I'll say, these are good answers. I support them joining the crew, but we will have to consult the rest.
When it comes to the sea, there is no law. There's certainly no order. In fact, there's nothing more chaotic than the ocean on a stormy day. Astaire has no place out there. Not on my ship. Not on any ship.
All right. They're on board.
Archie, Nilram, what do you guys think?
No, I'm not there.
Okay. I'll vote for Nilram. Archie?
I'll trust your judgment, Captain. I mean...
Alright, I get 3 votes.
Yep.
Fine. On a trial basis, you can come with us, but don't expect to get an easy ride just because you're a woman. It's hard work out there, and my men and I, you know, we do the real hard work when it comes to swords and spells. We need people like you to pick up the more menial tasks.
No.
I'll say, Captain, have you seen the men on this island? These women have had it hard their whole lives already.
That's true.
Do they laugh at that, Koibu?
They give a bit of a chuckle. Yeah. They're kind of like, yeah, I mean, there's a reason we're getting off this island. Part of it's the White Prince. Part of it's, you know, these locals, these yokels.
Wanderlust.
You should hear what their idea of a good time is. Well, let's go tip another sheep.
What about the rest of your friends from the first night we met? Are they not so bold?
They shake their heads. No.
That, the main one, the one who was mouthing off at me, he seemed to have an issue with me the next day. He was giving me evils, wouldn't come and reclaim his taxes. Is he going to be a problem?
He's not going to overthrow the White Prince. I don't think he's going to overthrow you.
Yeah, but, idle thumbs and all that. Someone like that, I'm not sure it's great. Having him around. How close are you lot?
They shift a little more uncomfortably on their feet. We've known each other our entire lives. Grew up in the same town. Went to protest against the White Prince together.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You can drink with us tonight, but tomorrow, go and have a word with this friend of yours and any of the others that were reluctant to come and see me when I was holding court, and get them to pay me a visit, show their respects, and take back their taxes. And if you can achieve that, then you're welcome aboard.
Manipulative. Forcing them to sever ties with their old family before they join you? Oh, this is how cults start, people. This is how they get you.
Archie's curious. What are people saying about the Crimson Fist and stuff in town? Are people talking? Just want to know if what people know.
Well, they're mostly afraid of you. They're pretty scared. A lot of bloodshed happening. A lot of dead folks. One of the kids snuck into the tower and saw the bodies arranged on the roof.
Jace.
Everyone's a little bit concerned and afraid.
But like they also think it's kind of cool, right?
The mindless slaughter of our enemies.
She gives a quick glance to Sale and to John, and then looks at Archie and is like, yeah.
All right, cool.
Super cool.
All right, so we got a deal. Shoshana, Mary Beth.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna bring your friends to the hall tomorrow? They'll kiss the ring.
They resign to their fates. Yes, they will bring Robert, I believe his name was, and the others for you tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Well,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, I buy them some drinks for the night.
Yeah, drinks can be had by all. We don't need to play this out too long, but Robert and the others will come to meet you the next day.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I lord it over them. I make them kiss the ring. I have them genuflect and that.
They'll do the genuflecting. The ring kissing, though, is going to be a bit of a problem when you hold it out. Robert sort of holds himself back and will say, I understand that you are ruling here by might, but I can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that, Robert?
Archie will look at him.
I can't do that.
Why not? Something wrong with your lips? Spent too long kissing your mother?
Oh, he burns. Robert is a wise man. Can he be moved
That's
to
right.
anger? No, he keeps his cool, and he... good King John,
Yes.
I acknowledge you as the conqueror of Jamuba and the current ruler, and I will obey laws.
Yeah, listen, mate, I wasn't looking for your blessing. I mean, obviously, I don't think there's much that you can do about the situation. Kiss the ring, take the gold, and fuck off.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice he talked a lot, but he didn't. Did he kiss your ring? Did I miss
Hey,
it?
no, he's not doing what he's
No.
told.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Mary Beth and Shoshana are standing by as all these other people have come up, and some of them kiss the ring, and they've all taken some gold. And Robert here's taken some gold, but he's balking at the ring kissing. He will take a knee before you and dip his head quite low.
I put my ring towards his lips.
He turns his head and steadfastly refuses, pained across the face.
Archie will just very, very carefully, very gently put his hand on his cheek.
Oh, your hand on Robert's cheek?
Just his palm on Robert's cheek. Just holding him.
Okay. Can I get a combination of charisma checks from the two of you? A lot of social pressure. Yep. Pass.
It is a lot of social pressure. It's got to be the bravest man in the world.
No, he will buckle. We needed, between the two of you and the setting and the Archie's fist and John on his throne with all these people in attendance and having kissed the rings before him, when Archie's fist grazes his cheek, he leans forward and gives not a nice kiss, but the lips touched the ring.
But he kissed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now get the fuck out of here.
All right. They scamper and skedaddle.
I give Mary Beth and Shoshana a nod.
You can see they look visibly relieved. They were a little nervous for the moment. Robert and these other people are still their friends. They're getting ready to go, but they're still sort of attached to this group. And that didn't come to bloodshed.
Niram is gonna start learning Stinking Cloud and Color Spray whenever we get on the way.
Great. Your ship is gonna probably be too uncomfortable of an area to actually learn the spells with the spray and the rocking and all the people and the mess. You're gonna need a quiet time, so you can learn that here. It's D2 days per spell level. I think you guys will be here for another week.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a week. Yeah.
1d100. I want low.
Which one is this?
This is gonna be Color Spray.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
achieved. And this is
Good
Stinking
spell.
Cloud. That's failed, probably. And then 1d2.
Yeah, D2 per spell level.
And then 2d2 for Stinking Cloud.
2d2.
Oh, your chance to learn was 85%. So close.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my god, that sucks.
Well, 85 minus 15%.
Oh.
It's not
Yeah.
specialty, so.
Yeah. Okay, 70. Great. So
Alright.
it'll take you 6 days.
That
to
takes
learn
6 days, yeah.
spells. You did get Color Spray and you failed Stinking Cloud, was it?
That is right.
It gives you maybe 1 day to try and make some coloured sand. You can maybe find some rudimentary dye or something.
Oh. Shouldn't the other wizard have colored sand on him?
Yeah. He would have
Yeah.
had some colored sand in his pockets. You can buy more probably in the Midlands, maybe.
How many castings do I get of that?
10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's all right.
Okay. Anything else to do here for the week left in Bamumba?
Me and Sale are going diving, right?
Yep.
I
right.
think. Yeah, I think I would give water breathing. I'd split it between us. I could do 1 cast a day, or I would give it all to Archie. I think I'd also like to try messing around with that. Paladin
Archie is going to be like, you know what? I feel like I've been working on my dive, I just want to try, it's good to keep your lungs in shape for when you fall off the ship or something. And I think I'm gonna go try going down there without. You can, if it gets too much, you can always still cast it on me, right?
Yeah, if you're above water. If you're down, I don't know how it works if you're down there.
Do you, mate? You've seen me swim, right? You think I'm gonna drown down there? Come on.
I'm like, if you really want to test yourself, Archie, go for it.
I'll just try it out, man.
Right. And Archie,
So
you're gonna.
if
Go Go ahead.
Oh, it's just a question about colors, but if they're below my caster level, they don't get a saving throw?
Nope.
Oh,
Correct.
Okay.
It's insane. The only thing though is that you can't move and cast, so it's not as strong as it once was, where you could just run up to someone and color spray them. But you start around next to someone.
I think there's at 6th level though they get a save.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a cap to it.
Yep.
All right, Archie. You head out to the end of the dock. You see where the shipwreck is down below, and you take a nice big breath and a deep dive. What's your con?
My con is 17.
Right. You can hold your breath for a number of rounds equal to 1/3 your con rounded up. So 17 divided by 3 rounded up is going to be 6 rounds.
Yeah.
If you are active during this period of time, that is cut in half again. So if you're diving and swimming, it's really only 3 rounds. But if you're just like needing to hold your breath to not be poisoned by poison gas or something, you can do up to 6.
Yeah. Archie, I mean, he's an experienced swimmer, right? And I feel like on the ships as well, there was like, they would practice like holding their breath and stuff like that. So he knows his limits, I feel like. So I feel like he knows if he just wants to try out his limit, he knows where he would go and how he would swim so that he could still safely make it up if he did normally run out of breath, right?
Yeah.
So Archie's going to attempt to do a dive like that.
Yeah. That, I think, is very reasonable. And as you dive down to the water, you can see a whole bunch of collections of things. The water here is crystal clear. There's little fish swimming about. There's a couple of corpses trapped in the boat still, stuck in awkward positions that are being, nibbled at by the fishes. But there's also that plate mail, that breastplate that knight cut off and chucked into the water. The straps on one side are still connected, so the whole thing sank in one big hunk. Most of it's under the sand by now, and you can catch a little bit of that. You can see all sorts of other mild valuables. Can you give me a con check for how close you can play to the edge of this, of your breathing, which is very close to the edge. Nice. And a perception check to see what sorts of valuables you can find while swimming around for the day. Very nice. Okay. You're going to be able to find the breastplate, a 3 chests that look like they are within, reachable range and are still shut and locked. Some of the other ones have been flipped open already, and you can see that, this chest must have held food or something floatable that floated away by now, and this chest has some fittings and rivets in it, and that shit we don't care about. There are 3 potentially useful chests. Breastplate. There are some miscellaneous weapons down here, some swords and some shields.
I feel like out of character, I'd obviously want to maybe grab the plate, but I feel like Archie wouldn't. I feel like the first thing Archie would look for would be whatever he feels like is most useful for the crew. And whatever John mentioned to him earlier. So if there's any weapons that look like we might use them, although they're probably all kind of mid, right?
They're normal swords and axes and stuff. They're nothing super fancy, but an axe is always a useful tool. An extra sword that you can have on base to train with or as a backup weapon is always nice. These things could be very useful in terms of the general supplies.
And the chests, does Archie feel like he could actually get that up there? Because depending on the chest, it might be pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. If you're just naturally holding your breath, you can grab onto it and tug it a few feet before having to go back up. So it would take you hours to drag it to shore.
Okay. I guess Archie might probably just take the best looking weapon that he sees for now and try to surface with it.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Okay.
You will end up pulling out a nice 2-handed sword.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a nice big square crossguard, maybe a 4.5-foot blade. And, a nice 1.5-foot area, maybe 2 feet for your hands to go onto. Nice big chunk of steel.
And Archie obviously noticed that it seems like whatever the squid was doing did not give him just the ability to breathe in any way.
Definitely not.
So as he surfaces, I'm assuming that like Sail is still up there
Mhm.
with him, and they're just kind of swimming about. He's just gonna be like, I feel like I've tested my limits. I feel like I'm good. Do you wanna give me the water breathing?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
I will cast. I assume this is a new day, so I would have a chance to reset my spells. I will cast water breathing. I'm level 6. It's 1 hour per level, so we get 3 hours each to go down and haul stuff up. Because I guess
Are we out here with like a little boat or something?
You're just at the edge of the pier, looking down,
Okay.
swimming out a little
Nilrum's
bit.
gonna quickly talk to Captain Winters and see if he's okay with us extending our stay for him to try and learn Dispel Magic, so we can get rid of the beacons.
I do a quick bit of like calculation on travel times to try and work out if that's going to be fine. Like, say the White Prince was coming from an island in the middle ring. How long would that take?
I think it takes about a week. Double check
So a
my
week,
times.
but then you'd have to wait for word that something had happened.
Does Sail have Dispel Magic? Oh,
Yeah, I
Sail
think
has
it
it.
does.
Then I guess Nilrum doesn't need it 100%. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we can wait then. Yeah, let's just go after
Let's
a week
just
just to
go,
be
yeah.
safe.
Yeah, I guess me and Sail are just like hauling up stuff
Yeah.
from the water.
Yeah, with the water
weapons,
breathing, it'll be much
Yeah.
easier to grab everything. No problems there.
and we'll get the. I'll try to drag up the armor as well.
Yeah, you can get the armor.
Probably between us, we might be able to more easily like drag up some of those boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if the two of you are down there breathing together, the boxes are quite nice to lift. The outbound days from the Midlands, it would be out 15 days actually, Nick.
Okay, great. So we can stay another week if you want. If you've got spell
Nilrum
research.
will look over the spell list, and he probably has one spell he wants to try, so we'll stay another few days.
Okay.
Nilrum will try for web. Here's the D100. He wants low, obviously. And then
You're
here is
lower?
the 2D2.
Nice.
2 days. Cool. Thank you.
Trying to find out exactly how much is in here. Oh, large wooden chest holds 100 pounds.
We could actually do with the chests themselves. I assume we probably need space to keep our gold back at base, so that's good enough on its own.
Each of the 3 chests holds within it 15,000 silver.
So that's
Nice.
45,000 in total.
Yeah. They're wooden chests. I probably should have made you pick locks, but Nilrum has knock, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It'll get open
over the
eventually.
course of the week, you guys you find a way to open them. The keys to the chests are missing though, so you either have to just constantly be picking them or knocking them, or you'll have to like get a key made.
Well, we can knock them open, but let me attempt to pick them as well. Yeah. What's the roll?
Just
Which one is
regular
just-
pick locks. Nothing fancy.
Okay, 2-6. Open locks.
1.
Success. Success. Success.
So you can pick them open at will now, but it is like a 10-minute process.
Yeah.
But no problem. That is 45,000 silver.
Did it. We're rich.
And you have a
Time to
bronze
retire.
breastplate, which will need a leather worker to fix it, but there's a leather worker in town, and you can get it fixed here.
What's it made of?
It is
Bronze.
Bronze.
Oh, iron.
breastplate.
Okay, bronze.
Yeah,
How much AC does that give? 5.
5.
It's pretty good, Archie.
But
Maybe we
it's
should keep this on
heavy.
us. But if we're away from the water, that's 5 AC. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
can also
alpha.
cut
Yeah, I
it.
mean, you know what I really like. You know what I really like wearing armor. It restricts me and everything. I feel like I can't do my punches properly, but
Again,
I
it will.
guess.
I mean, maybe I should wear it. I go down and up in fights.
Yeah.
How heavy is it, Neal?
25 pounds? 45?
I get
We could always give it to some of our new recruits. Keep
25.
them alive.
there's like penalties I get to my fighting style if I wear armor, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
free block is if you don't wear armor,
Yeah.
and maybe there's a +2 to hit as well. What did you say it weighed, Neal? Sorry.
25.
25 pounds. So if I wear that, I'm really light encumbered.
Unarmed
Which
and
is
unarmored,
fine.
you get the block.
But you won't need
could-
a block if you have 5 more AC.
Could I wear the armor without like interrupting spellcasting or fighting?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I think we keep it on as it could be useful.
Yeah.
Sail might be the most obvious choice, although you're around the
Yeah.
water a lot, so maybe not.
I'm
Like-
the most likely to be able to cast water breathing on myself
Yeah.
before I drown.
Like from a min-maxing perspective, it's probably good for a lot of fights if Archie just wears armor. But I feel like from like a character perspective, I don't think he would do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, plus, I mean, I don't think Archie's the one who's worried about getting killed, right? You've got
Yeah.
a lot of health,
Yeah.
and generally most people that you're fighting are down within 1 round anyway. So,
Yeah.
Sail makes sense.
Archie
Sure,
crits
it
on
doesn't-
16s now, right? Or is it 18s?
16s.
On 16s, yeah.
And it messes up my thief skills if I wear it. So most of the time, probably makes sense for Sail, but probably not if we're too near the water. Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, does water breathing have a verbal component?
Yeah, somatic and verbal. So you might have
Yes.
3.
But you can't cast it underwater either. Is the thing.
Yeah, I think the other thing is it takes a minute to put on and off armor. I'm pretty sure. Like
More than that, probably.
More
yeah.
than that. The guy
Is it
cut
really?
the straps when
Yeah.
the ship was going down.
Really, I thought I read that it's like a minute to put on or take off armor. I could be wrong. though.
Depends on the armor, and with this being like plate, it's going to be longer.
Because you've got to like get all the buckles into place and make sure it's tightened. If it's not fitted right, it's not going to work. And you need your padding underneath it too.
Ooh, I would maybe talk to Nilrum then and say, maybe there's a way you could have this armor put itself on. So like you just like slap it to your chest and then like the buckles cinch themselves, or you could like tap it to make it fall off.
I think Norm will tell you that's out of his depth right now, but that's a good idea.
Mr. Moon, that last spell you learned, the one that only took you 2 days, what was that?
That was web.
I suppose if we go to like an island that isn't like boiling hot, we can probably I can just wear the breastplate around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe makes you look less suspicious as well.
Yeah, just going around in a nice white prince's chest plate.
Yeah, make you look more like
That's
a
true.
knight than a cleric.
Upon,
Oh, then it's the white prince.
Upon the armor are like symbols of a stair written, like, you know, there's a big triangle emblazoned on it with like little carved circles on each end. I'm sure you could like polish them off or go, you know, chisel them off or manipulate them in some way to change what they look like if you had someone who did metalworking. But I don't know how much you guys want to be wearing something emblazoned with the symbol of
Could be
the bird.
useful. I mean, if we're fighting monsters, it's not going to matter.
True. Anyway, you guys are here
Yeah.
for another 2 weeks. Mooten, you still have 1, 2, 3 days left to learn spell if you want.
Oh, yeah, give me a few seconds. Have I not learned spider climb yet? No, I got that shit. Never mind.
I also got the holy symbol. Let's talk about the sword, because all right, one night I've got the 2 holy symbols and the sword and the breastplate on a table,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say to Nilrum and mainly Nilrum, but also Sail. So, what do we think the chances that one of those locating spells is on maybe all of these items?
Probably high.
So,
Spend the
really,
day.
not sure we can take these back to the base as they are.
I'll look to
Uh,
sail. You have Dispel Magic, right? You used it before.
Yeah, I can try dispelling the beacon. Maybe that'll work. At the very least, it might disable it for a whole day, and it won't be tracked. If it's a
Can you tell if it's gone?
I would probably need to dispel it and then wait some time to be able to tell to
All right,
see if it's
well,
permanently dispelled.
we've got some time here. I don't think we can go back to the base unless we're certain that there's none of these, you want to call them beacons? Unless there's any beacons on these items, we can't take them back. So let's work on getting rid of them, yeah?
Yeah, although my powers are stretched because I'm also working with Archie on retrieving loot from the boat, so it'll have to be an either or deal.
Right. I'm hearing excuses, Sale. Got to get rid of these beacons.
Captain, you know what? You're asking too much. You need to calm down.
Fair enough, fair
A
enough.
good
Well,
leader knows the limits of the crew.
you can only be diving for a day or two, right? You should have time.
Listen, I got other things. I'm a busy man, okay? I got things to do.
Archie can be diving all day. He doesn't care. He enjoys being out in the water.
It's that the same spell that would dispel the beacon is like the same spell slot as the water breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to be one level higher to get another 4th level, I think.
Third level, right?
3rd level.
Okay.
Next level, I do get a 4th level, though. That's exciting.
Wait, you level 6?
I'm about to be 7, yeah.
You're about to be 7?
I'm like halfway.
Damn.
He's been farming the pirate facts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker really has, hasn't he? Yeah, he's been level 10 soon. Okay. Well, I don't have anything else that I want to do. Other than... Wait, I do actually, but do all the stuff I'm going to have a think.
I think Norm's going to learn Seal Portal. So,
Okay.
100.
Can think of a
Good.
campaign that could have used that spell.
2d4? 2d3?
2d2?
It's a 3rd level spell.
3d2.
3d2. Oh, so 3d2. 4 extra days.
And for those who have never heard of Seal Portal, tell us a little bit about it.
The spell works like an abjuration hold portal spell, except that it also creates a barrier of force across the portal that keeps out small creatures, liquids, and gases. So I was basically thinking we could use this to maybe seal something if our ship accidentally breaks.
Like seal something airtight.
Yep.
So you could make really like completely airtight objects with this spell for how long? What's the duration?
It's gonna be duration is special.
Ooh.
The door will hold forever, but have a faint odor of animal fat it was sealed with. Boom.
It's a permanent spell?
Yeah, but it's good.
God, a wizard with the wrong mindset could just pull off the worst pranks in the universe.
Ah,
True.
right. Because this seal portal doesn't hold things shut like a hold portal spell. It just makes it sort of non-permeable for small creatures or gases or liquids, just sort of a boundary against other stuff. So permanent duration. Nice.
A D&D campaign where like every player is a wizard and their goal is just to prank as many people as possible. Get XP for the more NPCs you make laugh and shit like that.
Let's go around casting permanent darkness spells inside people's houses.
Oh my god. Oh, were there any like documents that survived the ship sinking? Like anything that stood out that had been
No, the
waterproofed?
water ruined them all immediately.
Okay.
Fortunately,
What about on the bodies? Any orders or anything like that?
if they were, they would have been ruined by the water.
Right.
I was
yeah.
wondering if maybe there
yeah.
was like a special document that had been waterproofed.
Nope.
I want to go and talk to Shoshana and Mary Beth for a second. Hey, so, when we leave, with all the White Prince's men dead, is there a town elder, or is there someone that all the town here are going to look to for leadership once this is all over? Who would you say has the most authority in the town outside of yours truly?
Well, some of the elders have our people's attention, as they should. They've been around a long time. They know what's going on. But I think the one with the most political ambition is actually Robert.
Right. Well, not Robert, but someone else. You need to have a talk with them to explain to them what to say when the White Prince gets here. It's pretty important that there's a good story, otherwise some of your friends and family here might end up with their heads on spikes.
I think that'd be Garland. He's a messenger in town. You know, for work, he runs messages around town or out to the other villages nearby. He's sort of the courier of information around here.
Did you get him to come and see me at the tower?
Yeah. And Shoshana will hurry off to grab Garland.
Great.
Moments later, there he is.
Garland, nice to meet you. I hear you've got some influence around town.
I'd like to think so.
Good, good. You've been to see me, right? I think I remember your face. You've got your tax rebate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, listen, I didn't realize how much work you were doing around here, and I kind of was looking at my... I was talking to my accountant, and I realized that maybe your rebate should have been a little bit higher. Do you want to come inside my office?
He looks to Shoshana, who nods enthusiastically, and he walks right in.
Great. All right, I sit down at a desk or something that I've got in this room, and I'm gonna pull out like another, let's say, 500 silver from that chest, and hand it to him and say, "Listen, we're not going to be around forever. God, the numbers are getting so high in this silver thing that it's starting to be hard to do the arithmetic. We're not going to be here forever, and I need someone to lead the flock, as it were, once we leave. And given your position in town, I was hoping that maybe, perhaps, that could be you, as I slide the bag of coins over to him."
Yes, sir.
Good.
What does all this entail?
Well, nothing really. Just that, as you can imagine, once word of what happened to Father Hubert and his entourage gets out, the White Prince is going to be here asking some questions. Maybe not personally, but someone, with a bit more... exactly, right. And I want to avoid my new subjects here being executed by the tyrant. So we need to speak together and come up with a good story as to what happened. Maybe you chased us out of town, but the number one thing is you need to go around the town after we leave and make sure that if the White Prince shows up, that everyone's hiding their gold. We need to say that we took the taxes, right? All of them. We didn't give them back. If they find out that you guys are all hoarding the gold, best case scenario, they want the gold back. Worst case, they want interest.
Well, sir, when pirates attack a town, they don't ever hand out wealth. They simply come and storm the keep, kill all the White Prince's men, rob the town, and then flee with all the wealth.
Yeah, if anything, you should get compensation.
I mean, what's the White Prince's use if he can't protect us from pirates?
Exactly. Okay, well, just if you could do me a favor, we'll be back once the heat's died down a little bit, but if you could just spread the good word amongst your townsfolk here and make sure that they all see it the same way as us.
Well, Lord, I don't know about you, but growing up as a poor man, we've always learned that there's a time and a place to discuss money, and that is not with anybody.
What I like to hear. All right, well, nice to meet you. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again in the future. We've got a few more days here. We're going to tie up some loose ends, and then we're going to be on our way. So, like I said, just make sure when the White Prince shows up, you've got a good story about what happened, and make sure no one's flaunting their gold.
Sir, he says, and he takes the 500 silver you gave him in 10 bags and tries to sit them in pockets and looks around for a bigger sack because this is 10 pounds of silver in large clusters, and he's just not equipped to carry it awkwardly. But he gathers up the bags in his arms and heads out the keep down back to his house.
All right, I nod at Mary Beth to leave the room, and I will have a glass of beer in my office.
Nice. Well, the 2 weeks are up. you've sorted things around town. You've gotten these items. You've got 2 new recruits. You found a bunch more silver. The only question before you head back home or go off to do something else is what to do with the magic sword with a beacon on it. Everything you know about how the White Prince deals with magic tells you that once they realize that this has been stolen, that they will try to find it. And it might take them time to find it. You know, there's always, they'd have to get the item, they'd have to learn that it's missing, they'd have to find a wizard who knows how to find it, they'd need to get a big map, they'd have to search for it, and then they'd have to sail out there and get it. We're talking probably at least a month, ballpark minimum, in order for them to come after it. Maybe more. Maybe a couple of months, but eventually they will come for it. What are you going to do with it?
I think, personally, I would like to try. I noticed that the sword kind of radiated a heat from it when I got near it, so I would like to try picking it up. Like, just I won't force it too hard, but I'll just see if it feels, if it's like unbearable to try and pick it up.
You get, when you're inches away, you can feel your hand being like inches away from a fire. It very much feels like a small house fire. The closer you get to it, the more it heats up. And when you're, inches away, it's searing, but you can hold it, but like you don't want to hold it for long. You're pretty certain if you were to grab that thing, it would cause damage to you, like real damage.
Yeah.
Can I wield it? Fine. Sorry.
No problem.
Go ahead. Yeah,
easy peasy.
And does this feel similar to the time that I like auto-immolated myself by diving through a hole barrier? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to one of the days when me and Archie are finished diving, etc. I will cast Dispel Magic on it. I will attempt to do that. Let me find the spell.
Okay. Now, Dispel Magic is an interesting spell. It has a lot of different types of effects. If you...
Wait, this is something everyone is okay with me doing, is attempting this Dispel Magic? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So firstly, Dispel Magic removes spells and spell-like effects from creatures or objects. So if something were temporarily cast on this, like if there was a temporary light spell on it, you could dispel the light spell from the sword. Second, it disrupts the casting or use of these in the area at the instant it's cast. So if someone is casting a spell and you cast Dispel Magic at them, it breaks their spell. Or if someone is like in the middle of using a wand and you hit them with the Dispel Magic, the wand's charge is fizzled for that round.
Kind of a quick question. Let's say I caught another clerik casting Call Lightning. Could I interrupt it with this and ruin the spell?
Yes, because it takes them 10 minutes to cast. You could blow it that way. Third, it destroys potions. And those are the 3 major things. However, if a Dispel Magic spell does not affect a specially enchanted item such as a scroll, ring, rod, blah, 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 weapons, unless it's cast directly on it. So not sort of in the area, but specifically at that thing. And it will render that item non-operational for 1d4 rounds. An item possessed and carried by a creature, blah, 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 blah. So if you cast Dispel Magic on the sword will be non-magical if you succeed on the spell for 1d4 rounds. So are you casting it on the sword, or are you casting it on the effect on the sword, which is the beacon spell?
I would be attempting to... I would probably talk to Neal, and he would maybe explain to me how it is, so I'd have a better idea what I was attempting. I'd be trying to get the beacon spell to essentially wear up faster, because I believe, I don't know if I know this in character, but it's like a month-long spell or something.
Yeah, it is. Neal has beacon, so he can tell you the ins and outs of it. And Koibu should be able to tell you the exact way it should actually be cast.
Yeah. So beacon, the beacon spell that you guys are familiar with has a duration in like a number of weeks per level of the caster. So if it's a 5th level caster, it's 5 weeks. If it's a 10th level caster, it's 10 weeks. So if you want to target just that spell, you can clear all the other magic out from the area and just area cast Dispel Magic, and that should remove the effect from the sword.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you are going to have to make an opposed die roll between you and the original caster of the beacon spell. You're going to roll a 1d20 plus your level minus their level, and you want an 11 or higher. So d20 for you, plus you said you're level 6?
Yep.
Right, and then minus the spell level of the caster, which is 15.
Jesus.
And you want an 11 or higher.
So it's impossible, right?
20 would do
Oh,
it.
no. Oh, it's 20. Fuck.
Yeah. You cast Dispel Magic on this, and there's sort of like a flicker of light and a little bit of static in the air, but nothing happens. Nothing obvious goes down. And when you go to cast a Detect Magic spell to see if it's still beaconed, it most certainly is still beaconed.
I'll explain this to the party, especially Nilram. I'll say, I feel like I had a really good attempt at this, but if I'm going to do this, it'll take me days, if not weeks, to actually hit it. So we need to find like an alternate way to transport this safely, or just get rid of it.
Wait, so what are you saying? That the wizard who cast this spell is
He's
infinitely more powerful?
He's just stronger. Well, I'm not entirely sure how it works exactly, but whoever cast the spell is more powerful than me and maybe stronger than I can overcome. Because I feel
turn
like
to Archie and say, "Did we not just watch Sail? You call forth lightning from the sky and sink an entire ship, and you're telling me
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And you're telling me that whoever cast this spell is so powerful that it might take you weeks or even months to remove a single enchantment."
I mean, I can keep trying for the next few days.
Well, it's making me very worried about the people we're messing with here, and all the more reason to succeed, if you ask me. Is there nothing else we can do that maybe disrupt the... I don't know, is there some way we can hide this thing?
If we go back to base, we have lead-lined rooms and silver-lined rooms that should disrupt any location of it, but it will go off the map as soon as we go to our base. So it could be, if they were looking at the exact moment, indication.
It'd have to be looking at the exact moment, though.
Correct.
Well, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We can't stay here too much longer, because this is clearly the first place they're going to search. So, Sail, I suggest maybe you keep trying until we have to leave. And then other than that, we pray to that friend of yours and hope that the White Prince isn't checking in on us at the right moment.
There might be something else we can try.
Well, yes.
I'll give like a little smile. It's like, maybe we could gift it to the drowned one, and he might take satisfaction that a artifact of a stair has been destroyed or taken away from the world.
You think a sword like that's worth a soul?
I have no idea, but I'm willing to try anything.
Well, none of us here use an arming sword, so I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world. If we can trade it for something good, like my soul, for example.
Okay.
I look around at the group. What do you guys think?
I think it's fine to sacrifice it.
Archie, you've got no designs on this sword?
Pretty attached to my soul and my fists. Not really seeing a sword in them.
Sail, I've been seeing you wince when that thing's near you. Neal, can you pick that up?
No one will try and pick it up.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I doubt there's a more evil fuck on this whole planet than Nilram over there.
There
I
really
will give you
isn't.
a wide smile.
I'm not sure, but whenever I get close to it, it feels like my skin is blistering and boiling. And,
All right, well, I tell you what. Whenever you're going to go and do this thing, you're going to need the sword, right? You can't carry it. I'll take it down for you, and, I'll be there. It's maybe important that I show willing in this.
Yeah, well, we'll do it.
Nilram is, I guess, like, sorry, you can finish and then I'll do something.
During this
we'll
exchange,
go whenever you're ready, Captain.
During this exchange here, at some point, Sail's reaching out, making the motion of like when I get near it, it gets hot. And Archie happens to be nearby. And you notice that, Archie, you kind of feel like there's an unusual warmth in this room too. And as you move your hand in the direction of the sword, you too feel like a heat rolling off of it.
Oh.
I'm rolling a perception check, or is it not? Does he not flinch from it or not?
I mean, I think he's interacting with it. You might notice if you can succeed on a perception check.
I think I'll try to pick it up, and I'm assuming it would make me drop it.
It's hot. It'll burn you if you touch it.
Yeah, I'll try to touch it and immediately flinch back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's that about? His heart's pure as fucking gold. So how's that work?
I like turn to Archie and be like, "Wait, take off your pendant, Archie.
I'll take off the pendant, put it on the table.
Can you try now?"
I'll touch it again.
Still hot.
Fuck.
Wait, so it's not the Archie. I understand why it might burn me, because, I was forced into a pact with some, I don't even know what he is, but like, you're just a guy who punches things.
He's a lot more than that.
Maybe I punched him too well. Maybe the sword just hates people that can punch really well, or maybe it's cool
in a divine sense. He punches things. He's not like pledged to a god.
Or maybe it just burns people that are jacked. Am I right?
True. Flex.
All right. Maybe we should get rid of this thing. It's kind of making me feel uncomfortable. How long until it starts burning me?
Well, maybe if you finally put on some muscle, Captain.
I don't need muscle. You try climbing up walls with muscles like yours, Archie. Sneaking in through ladies' windows at night.
I'll make sure to catch you when you inevitably fall off again.
So what's the plan? Are we going to attempt to seal it in some kind of box to bring it back to the base and put it in a lead room until we can deal with it later, or are we going to offer it as a victory over the White Prince to the
Let's go and give it to the drowned one. I say we get rid of this thing. Let's go now, in fact. I will
Neal will probably
cautiously
excuse
pick up the
himself
sword.
from this activity, saying that he's gonna keep studying his spellbook so we can get out of here quickly as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we are waiting for you, aren't we? So you're probably like spending all day doing this. All right, so I pick up the sword. Archie, you're welcome to come too if you want.
Yeah, I'll tag along.
I guess we march down to the coast. So, Sal, how is this act going to work?
Well, you see, Captain, I just like have this instinct for this kind of thing.
You're going to make sure that it's the sword he's getting, right? Just because I'm holding it doesn't mean that he gets me as well.
Listen, just maybe drop it and run when I say it.
Okay. All right.
Now, I know that the Captain's soul isn't really pledged to Rohi, because that was something I kind of made up to try and get him on his side. So, I'll get the Captain. I'll say, John, just drop it at the shoreline there and back up, and I'll see if he'll take it.
All right. I mean, I'm feeling nervous now. As soon as we're down here, I always feel like it gets a bit overcast. The seagulls quieten down. It's all like really eerie. So I will like crouch down and like lay the sword at the edge of the shoreline and like take a few cautious steps back towards sail.
So I'm going to attempt to contact Rohi. I'm going to bring his attention. I'm going to say his name in my mind and then say his name. And essentially I'm trying to communicate to him that this is an artifact of the White Prince that gives him power and strength in the world, and I'm asking him if this is a worthy sacrifice for him to destroy or take away from him, and in return, in the future, for me giving up what is an item of power and taking power away from the White Prince, maybe some other boon will come to me. But like, as far as John knows, I'm praying for his soul.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Make me a wisdom check here. Wisdom willpower. 30.
Oh, nice roll.
Yeah, good roll.
You put the sword in the water. You call out to Rohi in your mind and in your voice. And the dark tentacles from the water, after a little while, appear, wrap themselves around the hilt of the sword, and drag it back. And you can hear in the crashing of the waves, the waves crash in such a way that you interpret it as a bit of speech, a bit of a voice coming from the sea in the sounds of the sea itself. That tells you the time will come. No, that's not phrase it. One day, when you need it, you will receive a blessing in return for this gift.
Do I hear that as well? No, it's in Sale's head. As the
That's in
sword gets dragged away, I will frantically reach into a pocket of my jacket and pull out the 2 holy symbols of Astaire and throw them towards the water.
Real quick, do I hear it?
You do not hear it either. No.
Okay.
I throw the 2 holy symbols away as well.
Okay. They land in the water, sink to the sands, are gripped by the receding tendrils, and disappear beneath the blackened waves on this dark night, or dark evening.
The party was cool with Nilrim doing some light torture on the person who betrayed him, right?
Gotta do what you gotta do, mate.
Okay, so Nilrim would have probably had the lady up there for the whole week without like feeding her or whatever and drinking, and she'll just be standing probably chained in the middle of the Pono symbol. And I think today while you guys are doing your whole thing, Nilrim is gonna go and execute her to Ponos and maybe try to speak with him.
The way you brought that up is so funny. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure the party was cool with some light torture, you know?
Just a little bit. Just some starvation. And yeah.
I had a fun question on torture. Could I have like the inverse of my water breathing? Make someone feel like they're drowning? They're actually fine. But they feel like they're drowning.
Ooh, a suffocation spell?
Like they're fine, but it's like the feeling. You just like, it's like
Mhm.
anxiety.
Like waterboarding.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a torture spell.
It could be. Ooh, yeah, we could make something like that happen.
That is cool.
Let me work on it, and I'll get you some details. At the top of the tower, Mr. Nilrim, you are here praying to a different deity in your own way. You are calling out to Ponos, god of suffering, and you've already made a symbol, his symbol on the top of the tower here on this island with corpses, and now you've left someone up here with no food and little water for a week, chained, exposed to the elements, surrounded by the symbol of suffering for her betrayal of you. Now, what are you calling out for? What do you want from this? Or what? Give me some more words on the intent behind all this.
Nilrim genuinely enjoys this. Nilrim is a psychopath, and he's just having fun for the most part. But he does have a question that he's curious about. So if Ponos feels like he's done enough, he just has a question, and if Ponos will answer it, great. If not, Nilrim's gonna keep going, keep doing the same shit he's doing, because it's a hobby for him, But he is also a curious man, so he will probably speak to the head that spoke to him before, that the body dragged over, and ask, Ponos, I have been having a lot of fun with this, but I'm insanely curious, and I hope that this, this friendship can grant me a question. Who is the drowned one? Who is the person who calls himself a god that lives under the sea?
That is your phrasing of it?
You want to say his name.
No, he's not going to say his name because it didn't work out well. Who is the person that calls himself a god who lives under the sea And what is his purpose? That's the phrasing.
And we're going to go to our first break right here. We're a little over our break time. We'll come back on the other side. More Tides of Death. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Atop the tower, surrounded by the corpses, with the woman before you, the traitor, who pledged to your side and then fled when the going got tough. You call out this question to Ponos, god of suffering. Is this before, during, or after you have slain the woman?
Probably before. He wants to show her that he has, like, you know, real connections and shit. And then if nothing comes, then he'll probably ask it again, slaying the woman.
You ask the question, nothing happens. How do you kill her?
Nilrim will, I don't know, whatever the most vile way he can think of. Probably literally just torture too much, like torture to death. So not like
Skinner.
a nice like slit to the throat. It would probably be like
A
pain
slow,
torture,
murderous
nonstop,
killing until
yeah.
she just passes. She, not with the intent of killing, but like something that she will die from
Yeah.
the effort of. Yeah. When she perishes, and when you realize that she's gone, you go and check her and try and wake her up and splash some water on her face. And you take a moment to sit back and sort of enjoy your work, Mr. Psychopath. Her head sort of like cranes to the side and flips up, and her voice will speak to you. Your question was, who is this self-styled god under the sea? And the answer is...
And what is his purpose?
Telemachy. Illinorum dragon hums the snapped head and voice.
Oh, shit.
Does that mean anything?
You have not heard this name. Linorum dragon is again a term you're not particularly familiar with. Some sort of dragon.
Interesting.
And then the
Okay.
head falls back, the crack on the stone floor.
Normal will take a knee and say, "Thank you, my Lord Ponos."
Wow. Do you share these revelations with the rest of your party?
No, I don't think it does.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, the days pass, and it's time for you to sail away. Heading back, I believe, to your base. Is that the place we're going?
I think so.
Right. Oh.
Mm.
You need to go a whole bunch of islands to get home. Let's see. Zoom way the heck out. So if you are here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 islands this way, or 43 the other way. And I think upwind, inline. I think it makes more sense.
We're probably gonna do the cross too.
Yeah. It's going to make more sense to go backwards, even though you move at a slower speed and, with a cutting across to do so. So let's take to the seas. Now, the first thing we have to deal with is the drums. You pull out the drums, you get in the boats, your two new crew members are here, and as soon as Archie starts hitting those drums and the two crew members are like looking at this boat and just the few of you and the sails and the oars and kind of like, how are we gonna go anywhere? As soon as you start pounding those drums and the ghostly rowers pop into view, your two new companions startle and they look around, terrified at first. These ghosts are appearing out of nowhere. Now,
Give them a smack.
we've glossed over this before, but this has been the reaction of pretty much everybody who has hopped on your boat to see the ghostly figures. And this time, we're going to take a moment and actually, see how you tell people about this. What goes on?
Don't forget, there's also the one soldier that didn't betray us here as well.
Oh, that's true. Yes, James and Mary Beth and Shoshana.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look about as the sails as the oars stick into the water and start rowing themselves, and ghostly figures appear. James takes his spear, and turns around ready to strike at something. The other two pick up whatever is nearby, maybe a belaying pin, maybe a coil of rope with a heavy thing attached to it. And then they look at you, Archie. They look at you. What is this? Is this the power of the Crimson Fists? What is this?
Archie is very focused on Drummond right now, but he'll give them a quick nod and a smile.
Don't panic, ladies. It's just a taste of our power.
We'd heard the White Prince has ships that power themselves. Is this
Now he's got one less. It is.
This ship is
Phelan-
Archie powered.
They go up and kind of reach out to touch one of the ghostly rowers. Does anyone do anything about it?
Yeah, I say careful. They've got a nasty bite.
They pull their hands back and watch, sticking to the middle of the ship where they won't get in the way of the rowers, and kind of walk up and down, staring at them, getting really close and then backing off.
Archie will start singing a sea shanty in the rhythm of the drum.
Nice. They sing too, right?
Yes, their voices sort of come together in a slow, methodical, quiet at first and then rising tone. Kind of with no individual voice being distinct, just sort of the echoing chamber of a choir in a large church room. That sort of, what's the term, as it resonates and echoes all around you.
Resonance.
Out, maybe, yeah, it might just be resonance. Out to sea we go, and back towards home. This music's maybe a little bit intense. Here we go. Much better. Let's take a look at our encounter table. Mr. Navigator,
Quest fish again.
I need you to give me a nice big old navigation check.
30.
Excellent. You're going to be in just the right place at just the right time. And we're going to roll some check.
Give us the fish again. No one's gonna ask for a level.
Yeah, I want the fish.
Ah, here it is.
Is that the second time we've met that fish?
First time.
This will be the second time when he turns up now.
I had
He's-
deja vu.
What did we wish for? Maybe he's gonna come back and give us our wish.
Wish for the White Prince's destruction.
Yeah. No, it's happening.
True.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Your journey is more or less straight without too many problems. There are no magic fish coming across your path. There are no storms in the end of February. It will take
Is that
us.
odd?
You know, if there is going to be a storm, it's around that time of year. you did pass through one on your way out here, there's probably one just around the corner. But for the duration of your journey, you are not going to have any problem.
Nice.
And now that since we're sailing against the current, someone's going to need to be drumming every day, all day. That's the only way.
Are any of the new girls able to drop? Have they got high seamanship, is it?
One of them has a boating proficiency, but neither of them have seamanship proficiencies. It's going to be up to you all to get you there, and then you'll have to train.
Sail's the next best person, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Archie gets tired, I can help him out. Do you want me to do a check?
No, we don't need, you guys all have good enough seamanship, and the checks really only need to come in to get it going. So, we're talking about losing 5 minutes every time, at most, every time that someone ships. So we don't need to worry about that right now. But it will take us 8 days to get back. 1, 2, 8. And it is late on the 6th of March, late in the evening.
Well, wait, are we going straight back, or on the way, did we see any ships? Because I think we might, if there's anything on the way.
Yeah, we might as well.
Pillage, if there is.
No, when you cut across the midsection like that, actually, you cut across the midsection, it's going to take less than 7 days. Only going to take 5 days. When you cut across the midsection like that, it is faster, and you're less likely to be spotted, and you're also less likely to run into anyone, because you're going through that section of water that has much fewer people now.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And 5 days later, you will arrive home, back at the base, in the middle of the day this time instead of at the end of the day.
I was down 10 HP. I assume that I'm back to full now, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everyone's back to full. All the things. You can get back to your base and find your crew here. I'm going to give you guys access to all of your minions' character sheets now.
Nice.
You've been working with some of these people for a long time, and you've just recruited 3 fairly loyal new followers. So it's time to give you guys more information about these people. There are some notes on them, not a lot. Mostly there's just stats, but I will update the sheets as more information, as you learn more about them. And it'll be here for you to review as you please. Anything you want to do when you get back home? I know there's a lot of small things to take care of.
I've got something I want to do. I need to go and visit Nightingale. I've got a couple of things on the hand. I want to see. I reckon it's been about 2 months now, so I can probably maybe expect my first 10% tax from the merchant that we enthralled. And also, I want to track down that guard that the blacksmith wanted me to kill. So I'm going to do those 2 things while we're here, but we've got other stuff. If you want to do other people's stuff first, that's fine.
Yeah. I want to hear what everyone's got to do, and then we'll find a way to do it together in order. Does anyone else have any clear tasks that they are looking to do? Any objectives to achieve?
Like an Among Us?
Give me a minute to think about it.
I think, okay, so we got a couple, we have a lot of people in here now. Notably, there's little Bobby, and then there's the James, the guy that we recruited, right? He's pretty high strength. He's a pretty beefy dude. Is there any other people that we've recruited that are potentially good fighters?
God damn, Wiley's level 5 in two classes. 26 HP.
Yeah. He's seen better days, though,
Yeah, sure, but still. Wait a minute, he's got 50 gold on him. Did I give him that 50 gold?
You did.
Yes.
God damn it, Wiley. Sharpay's the accountant, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He should be on
Wiley,
full health now.
Wiley should have been torturing him the entire time we were gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
I
if it's
talked
been
shit to
2
no room.
months, some of the crew probably is going to want leave, probably.
Payment?
Well, the first thing that you come back to is Wiley with his boots up on Sharpay, who's acting as a footstool in the main room where you sail in over here on your boat.
Christ.
And immediately, as your boat makes landfall, or you hop off and you start tying it up on the sides, and everyone starts to come off, and you're working together to haul out all this silver and put it in your treasury. Immediately Wiley gets up and Sharpay, go help them haul that treasure down to the treasury, huh? Would you? Bobby, get your lazy ass over here. And he starts calling everyone else too, like, Janet, put down the knife. It's time to move the cargo. Brophy, get your butt out here. There's no businesses to run. And soon, the whole team comes on out to help haul things around as needed. These are way too small. Once the cargo's unloaded and everyone, says hello and, Janet, what are you doing over here hauling cargo? Can't you see the captain's home and he wants a hot meal? Go make him, he goes through he gets the troops rallied for you.
Nice.
And as everyone starts to settle in, he comes to talk to the four of you, after sending the new people off as well to the kitchen to get acquainted with the rest of the crew. And he leans in and he goes, Captain and crew, I know
you're
I'm just
running
an
a
old
tight
man.
ship here, Wiley. Yes.
Of course. Of course we are. I know I'm just a blithering old man, well past his prime, who ain't in any position of leadership. But a lot of these associates of ours, they don't have the proper sea legs. They don't have the proper discipline. Around this base, things are a little bit musty, a little bit damp. It's hard to really instill the seafaring spirit in them. Is there any chance I could get you all to steal a small boat, one that I could train this pack of landlubbers on, that we could get them some real skills behind the sails? I mean, look at this group. Bobby is the best sailor here. Let that sink in for a moment. Little Bobby. I could turn this crew of miscreants into a real disciplined crew who could work the sails, who could work the oars, coil ropes, make knots in their sleep.
Oh, we do have a spare ship, right, Nora?
Did we?
Didn't we?
I don't think we ever brought a ship back, actually. But if
Did
we
we
did,
not?
it should be on my sheet.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think we ever did. That was our plan.
You were going to, but then you
But
had
I think
to sink it.
sail sunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
It's
got
not
it
a bad
already.
idea. It's not a bad idea, Wiley.
Also, it was a cargo ship.
And I know I'm just an old man. You don't have to do anything I say, but it would be mighty useful if we could get a training
I'm just worried
ship.
about these landlubbers mutiny and throwing you overboard and stealing our ship
Well,
and freeing
where are they
themselves in the
gonna go?
process.
They couldn't sail it anywhere. Plus, he holds his knife hand up in front of you. I might be old, but I'm not going to get taken easy by this bunch of scallywags. Except for maybe that one with the spear that you brought in. He looks kind of mean.
Yeah, that one can fight, but it's no match for you, Wiley, I don't think.
Hmm.
Well, I'm
Well-
not against it. I was starting to think that you and some of the longer serving staff members here maybe due a break. Maybe another trip to the resort.
Well, you can always train people tomorrow. It's an old sea saying, you know? Why do today what you can put off till tomorrow?
Well, I've got things to be doing around town, and I'm sure that Nilrim's got books that he needs to be reading.
One sec.
But,
we didn't forget about the beacon on the weapon.
No, you
I
gave it to
assume
the sea.
sail. Oh, okay. Thank you. Make sure.
Yeah. I assume Nilrim's got books to read, and I myself have got things to be doing around town. Maybe Sail and Archie could go with yous, keeping things low key, obviously. And maybe if you come across a ship on the way, well, I'm sure Archie could take a ship down on his own. Never mind the lot of you.
Is there an
No.
orphanage in town, Captain?
In Flotsam?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not that I've seen. Probably though. Need orphans all around this place.
I need an apprentice. We need to visit an orphan.
Not
You and
fucking
me.
again, dude.
I'll
Yeah.
turn to Archie and say, we definitely know how to keep a low profile. Like in my head, I'm thinking we've like caused every single crisis.
Oh yeah,
No.
no, for sure. No, we got this.
You really want a child, Nora? Be dead in 5 minutes. You don't want someone a bit older?
I need
I
someone
guess
I
if
can
he's dead in
mold.
5 minutes, he's not a true apprentice, am I
I
right,
need someone I can
friend?
mold, Captain. Leave at the base. I need them to be working on the ships while I'm gone. I need them to be combing through the spell books and combing through these random books that I bring back. I don't have time for all this shit. I need a very
Yeah.
special child.
Well, if we're gonna get
Exactly.
another wizard around here, I want him to be useful. I don't want to be looking after some whippersnapper for the next 10 years before he can cast a spell.
I'll make sure he's useful.
I mean, yeah, I can ask around town, see if there's an orphanage. I'd invite you to come with me, Nolan, but I think we both know that's probably not a good idea.
I think I can just come with you this time, you know?
I don't know if you. I actually don't know if you can, Nolan. Actually,
I can handle
Given-
it when I'm with you, Captain. It's just
I don't know. I'm not convinced that you can, Nolan.
give me a chance.
Do you want me
I'd
to
give
come
it a-
along to keep you on
No,
check?
well, I'll forego this month's wages if you let me come.
If my head ends up on a spike, then
won't.
no month's worth of wages are going to make up for that.
You have my word as your crewmate, Captain, that I will not fuck about.
I want you all are seeing this, right? Archie gets to beat the shit out of you if you do something fucked up over there.
We'll nod.
You hear that, Archie? Sail, Wiley?
I can just come along to keep
I
him in
heard
check if you want to.
Well, I'm worried now that there's 3 of us on the island. You know, there's
Well,
still
yeah.
wanted posters for us out there. It's dangerous. Plus,
You
Archie
know,
and Sail,
Captain-
What is it, Wiley?
I mean, being here downwind of Flotsam, you hear lots of voices across the wind, and the docks on a nice night, you can hear everyone down there during their little festivals and celebrations, the voice of the ladies across the sea. It tempts me so. I could use some time on Flotsam Island myself.
You're about to go on vacation, Wiley.
Well,
Okay?
that could be my vacation. Let me just go see who's making all the wonderful sounds on the docks.
Why are you
That
gonna
could
go
work,
on
Captain.
vacation
You, me,
on
and Wiley
Flotsam while everybody
on a
already
quick trip.
knows us? I think it's a bad idea.
I mean, I don't think there's any issue with Wiley going, actually. I mean, you're not known around Flotsam, right, Wiley? No, not particularly, at least.
No, not particularly. Not since I've aged. Not in decades.
No,
No,
I'm
no
going to
pay.
have to work on your hair and makeup before we let you go.
No, I'm nods. Let's do it.
Archie, Sail, what do you guys want to do? You think taking some of the long-standing recruits on a trip to the resort, you can keep yourself out of too much trouble, or you rather leave that to Wiley?
Oh, we can keep ourselves out of trouble, no problem.
Absolutely. Nothing will go wrong at all. The only thing is, how do we get back in? Oh, I suppose Nilrim will be back.
We'll be back. We'll be back by then.
We still have everyone's still gathered around, right? Like all the crew and everyone.
The other crew members had been taken off. It was just Wiley and the 4 of you, but you can gather them
Okay.
if need be.
Yeah, Archie would like to gather everyone again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which one of you wants to learn how to fight like a true fighter? Step up.
Bobby's hand shoots up faster than a speeding missile, and James steps forward as well. Mary Beth and Shoshana come forth. It's just Janet and John Brophy that are hanging back.
Archie will step in front of. He's already been training Bobby. He'll step in front of James, and he'll tell him, "Hit me in the face."
James will stand there for a moment, look like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Hit me in
Okay.
the face.
And throw a fist. Whap! 16. That's a good blow. And if you are not
Yeah.
actively dodging, it's going to hit you.
Yeah, I won't be actively dodging.
Yeah, it'll smack you in the face for 2 points of damage.
I'll take 2 damage. Not bad at all. All right. He'll go to what are the two women's names?
Mary Beth and Shoshana.
Okay, he'll stand in front of Mary Beth. Hit me.
Alright. She will throw a fist. That did not work. Try that again. Whap! It's a wild miss. She has
Jesus
no idea what
Christ.
she's doing.
All right, stand back.
She steps back.
And then Shoshana.
Yeah,
Give me your best shot.
Shauna will do essentially the same thing. Where's my... Whap! Solid blow this time for 1d3.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm at 36.
People are saying they can't see the rolls now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. 1,000 apologies.
Now you see.
All right, Bobby, James, Shoshana, Every other night that I'm here, we're doing training over in the gym room. I'll show you guys how to punch.
Mm-hmm. Mary Beth, me
Yep, you.
and Shoshana,
You?
me, all of them.
Mary Beth, listen. Some people have it, some people don't. Some people know their way around a fist, some people don't. You don't. And there's nothing I can do to make that better. Maybe you're better to stick to some sharp weapon or something that can shoot, you know. But these three, they've got it.
She looks dejected and stands back. The others step forward, eager and excited. Every other day, they're going to be training with you in the training room. Excellent.
Yes.
Perfect.
But did I witness this? I assume I was around.
Oh, yeah. Everyone was there for that.
I'll go over to Mary Beth
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, well, look, you're probably not built for a fighter, but there's room for other types of help in this crew. Maybe I could teach you some of what I know.
She nods enthusiastically. I work on a boat. I work with ropes and sails and fishing rods. I have a lot of useful skills.
Is there a way, like, for me to, like, test her willpower? I know what it is, but I want to, like, in character test it.
Yeah. So willpower and wisdom are like measures of judgment and sort of ability to and self-control. So I'm sure a clever man like you can find some way to judge that over time. That seems to be reasonable. What's a good way to judge that?
I'm drawing a blank is why I was kind of like, I need like suggestions. Basically, I want to kind of do the same kind of thing as Archie did, kind of like do just a little bit of a test of her willpower, just so she can get a win, basically, and feel like, okay, I'm not useless.
Good way to test someone's wisdom or willpower. I think things like riddles might be, maybe that's more of an intelligence test.
Intelligence?
Yeah. Wisdom and willpower are a lot more about like intuition and like that.
Could willpower
sense.
also be like overcoming your instinct, like holding your hand in a like barrel of ice water for like an hour?
Yes.
What about like naked in the sea at night for as long as you can in the cold water?
That might be more con,
Yeah, okay, I guess so.
but like any sort of situation where you have to push yourself in like maybe like a hand over a fire or something, and like how close can you get it, or
Damn. How do I test her? Like, how do I roll? This is like a role play thing. How
like
do I
the
quickly
hardest
test
stat to test.
Mm.
If it was con, you could just beat her with a stick. If it was dex, you could like thread needles or tightrope walk. Strength
What's
is
that?
easy.
What's that like meme that gets knocked around where like strength is being able to squash a tomato?
Yeah,
Blah, blah,
wisdom
blah,
is
blah.
knowing
Wisdom
that
is
tomatoes
that
not
tomatoes
in a
are
fruit.
fruit. Yeah, so you can
yeah,
ask
yeah.
them that. No, wait, that's intelligence. Wisdom is knowing that it
Wisdom,
doesn't
no,
go
you
in a
can eat
fruit salad.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
It doesn't go in a fruit salad. Would you put a tomato in a fruit salad? No, you'd hide it.
Greatest of memes.
Damn, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly actually how to test wisdom.
Well, take a look at your skills maybe and see which ones are linked to willpower.
Oh, I'll bring her with me and do an omen reading and ask her to read the omen.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Here we go. All of these. Oh. Yeah. Great. So she will look into the water with you, looking for signs and sigils that are happening in the waves as you make an omen reading. And what omen are you reading? We need a real example with which to work.
I want it to be really, really simple. What's like a really obvious thing that's happening? Like, is the sky clear right now? Like there's no.
no, it's
like,
cloudy
weather.
right now. It's super cloudy, right?
Omen reading. What's like a good? Does anyone have an idea that could like throw me a bone here? Because I'm drawing blanks just constantly here.
Is it gonna rain tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll ask it. Is it going to rain tomorrow?
Excellent. Okay. You know, put your hand in the water, let the sand flow everywhere, and small little piles scattered all over the place pop up. And our friend Mary Beth will make a wisdom check to read into the water and to see what the omens may bring her. And she will score a 30, so even with half of her wisdom, because she's not, proficient omen reader, she can see that it's forming lots of little tiny mounds all over the place. And she goes, well, I think each of those little mounds represents a raindrop or some sort of splashing in the water. I think if there was going to be no rain, it would be flat everywhere, maybe like a single large pile. But this looks like rain on the sea. So yes, it's going to rain. And then she looks to you for approval.
I guess I have to also read it to check, do I? Or do I know automatically?
I guess you also need to pass, which you pass with flying colors.
Yeah, I'll say, if it rains tomorrow, you'll have your answer, and then I'll take her back.
And then she looks at you and is like, "Wait, but what magic is this? What is this that causes the sand to pile like that?"
Is a magic far beyond the power of any of the gods. It's the power of the sea power. The sea will be at your command if you join me.
Intrigued, she bobs her head. Right. Omen reading with sail. So, Mary Beth will work with Sail in some areas, perhaps, maybe learning a little bit more about the spiritual side or the sailing side, because she's already a bit of a sailor. So she might work well with Wiley. So Shauna, James, and Bobby are going to be fighters. Janet is sort of the cook, and John Brophy used to be a businessman, and now he's sort of just a bit of a laborer? What is his position?
Supposed to be the bodyguard, like the home, I think.
Think about the framing, Neal. What it is he's alive, which is more than he would have been if he was still a businessman. 'Cause
Totally.
he'd be fucking dead.
But what is his function here with your people, right? He needs to have
Pass the
something that
mustard.
he's doing. He is the servant. Got it. The homemaker, the domestic engineer. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think Nilram, Captain, and Wiley are gonna set out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're going to Flotsam whilst the rest of them, maybe not all of them, I think Bobby plus any immediately new recruits should stay here, but Wiley, Sail, Archie, and like Bobby, Sharpay, maybe. Yeah,
Sharpay
anyone
is never gonna
job.
join. Nilram will let you know that, and Sharpay is only there to be
Okay,
tortured
well,
to the end of his days.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we let James and Shoshana and Mary Beth go, or is it too dangerous?
Those people are loyal to us, right?
Yeah, but
Have
only
they
been here 5
earned
minutes.
a
But
holiday?
I don't know if they've earned a holiday, but they have proven their worth. Up to you, really.
I'm not comfortable with them serving us until we've done the ritual.
Well, we can do
bind
that
the
before
pills.
you
We can
leave,
do that before
right?
we go, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to leave the call up to Sail and Archie. It's up to you guys to decide who to
Yeah,
take,
it's your
since you're
guys'
going to be the
thing.
ones looking after them.
I'll take my 3 students then.
Yeah, let's go with a whole crew then. I'll take Mary Beth with me as well.
Okay, so who's being left at the base? Just Sharpay.
Someone's
So
got to
it
keep
has
an
to
eye
be
on Sharpay.
Bobby,
right?
Bobby, right? I think Bobby has to stay.
Nilram
Unless you
will,
want to just lock him in a room. Yeah.
Nilram will lock up Sharpay.
With food and water and a
No.
bucket.
He'll be
I mean,
alright.
we're only going to be gone for a
We're
day.
only gonna be
max,
gone for
too.
like a day,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he's just
okay,
got- he's
okay,
got
right.
nothing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so everyone gets to go then. All right, you guys have got the boat, so just I think I'm like standing in the water. You know, like when you leave your mum's house and she's like waving you off as you drive off from the car. Like that's me as you guys take the boat. Like, just be careful. Remember,
careful, kids.
don't mention who we are. Don't talk about where we came from. Don't kill anyone. You can get into a fight, but you know, don't fucking kill anyone, please. And I will give you guys some gold to spend when you're out there. So how many people are going?
Everyone.
6.
5, 6.
1, 2,
It's a school trip,
3,
dude.
4,
Sick.
5.
We're like
7
the teachers
plus you two,
organizing
so
all the
there's
children. This is
9?
like my nightmare.
9. So how much gold should we give them? How much gold do you
9
need
of
for
us
like a
going?
weekend?
For a weekend?
Yeah.
Oh.
If one gold's $100, right?
Yeah, $1,000 a
If I give you,
person
like-
for a good weekend.
If I give you like,
Real
yeah,
good
so it's
weekend,
like 10 gold. So I'll make it 100 gold.
Oh.
All right.
Go
100 gold.
crazy.
Nilram will suspend Sharpay chained with his hands above his head, above the shit pit where the acid oozes are.
Oh, nice. That way he's got somewhere to, he
Yeah,
doesn't like soil the room that you guys put him in.
yeah. He'll draw.
I think
the
there's probably
tunnel
like a
symbol on his head and
moment
everything.
where John's just wandering around the base and like goes to the toilet and walks into that room, just sees this guy chained and hanging above the toilet and just sort of gives him a look like, that's unfortunate, and then closes the door.
Right.
So it's Nilram, Wiley, and John, correct?
Yeah.
Because Nilram needs to talk to John.
Everyone is going to Flotsam Island, right?
Everybody but Sharpay. Oh,
Except
no.
Sharpay.
No.
All of
It's
those
just
people
me.
are going to the vacation island, right?
Oh, but that's not more
Yeah,
than
like
one
it-
day away. That's going to be many days.
Yeah, they're going to be gone for a while, but me, Nilram, and Wiley are just going to Flotsam for the day.
Okay, and then you can just
Yeah.
take the little
Yeah.
skiff and row back. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, not a problem.
What are we going to do about the boat? Are we just dropping them off or are we staying with them? Because what are we going to do
you
about the
can-
boat?
Oh, yeah. I think
I
you
guess-
probably think about this on the way out.
I guess I could just water breathing myself, jump off before like inspection. Like, because we're going to be inspected.
But you can't be inspected, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the oars will give it all away.
That's for you guys to figure out when you get there. Good luck.
Oh, God.
All right, so the party splits into half go to Flotsam Island to take care of some things. The other half goes to Vacation Island to have some downtime, rest, relax, and definitely not get in any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will investigate these two things and see what our party gets into.
Oh, we're back.
Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Our party splits. Half of them, well, a section of them, landing up on the shore of Flotsam Island near Port Ferris. The others heading off to the vacation island for some time. We're going to flip back and forth between each of the groups a little bit, and we're going to start with the people who end up on Flotsam Island.
All right, so I row us to our normal spot.
Well, on
more than
our
normal spot.
rowing, Nilram's going
Mhm.
to talk to both of you and explain what he found with Ponos. He's
With the whole
I
group.
saw you making some weird symbols up there on the roof. It's not healthy to spend that much time around dead bodies, Nora.
fine. Just drawing the attention of a god. I've been talking to Ponos recently.
Just
wanna
dropping
tell-
that in casually.
Yeah. I didn't want to tell
Okay.
everybody this. But I was able to gain his favor and ask him a single question. You know how you think that thing under the sea?
No, wait. Should
I'm
we
not
really
gonna
be
say-
Should we be talking about this here? I say as I'm rowing the boat.
As long as we don't say his name, we won't draw his eye.
You sure about that?
What's
I mean-
always happened so far?
Can I get a little bit more clarification? Is this just you and John and Willie, or is this
Wiley.
everybody?
Me, John,
Yeah.
and Wiley.
Okay, just
Yeah, it's the three of us, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what is it? What do you find now?
I think I found out who and what he is.
Really? Is it a
Yeah.
god?
Don't think so. Ponos gave me the name Telemachy Illinorum Dragon.
Hey, look around and see.
That's all he said.
Nervously. Does that mean anything to you? Dragon, you said. It's a dragon.
What he said. It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'll continue my research on it.
Could
I,
a dragon give Sail his spells, though?
Norum shrugs. I'm not entirely sure.
You
But
know,
I don't think it's a god who has our soul.
Huh.
But why would Sail lie about that?
I stopped rowing. And I think back. I mean, the man left his brother for dead. He could easily be lying about it.
Could be. I could easily be lying to you about it.
Oh, I don't doubt that you're lying about a lot. But I'm not sure what reason you'd have to lie about this, although now that I say that.
I'm an open book, Captain. I want 3 things in life. 1, I want the Fountain of Youth. 2, I want to be left alone. And 3, I want to make snow globes of cities. Very simple.
Right. Okay, so let's say what you're saying is true. What does this mean for us?
I haven't the slightest clue.
I mean, whatever it is, it's certainly powerful enough to kill us right now if it wanted. So I'm not sure that we should scale back our deference in any way.
I think we bide our time.
Just be careful with this. I mean, you don't know what you're getting yourself.
I won't ask him about it again. He's granted me enough. I think it's
don't
for us to
mention.
figure out.
Don't mention any of this to Sale.
Oh,
His
why do you
mental
think
state.
I gathered you here.
Yeah, well, his mental state is unstable, and who knows how he'd react to this kind of information.
Sail is unpredictable. Why I am unpredictably predictable. I think you'd rather have
predictably unpredictable. You mean?
Yes, predictable.
Yeah. Well, exactly, which was
At
why
least
I'm
with you know-
wondering why I brought you here.
You brought me here to find a child.
Yeah, right.
A sweet child.
Nice big brain.
Not as smart as me. No one could be.
Well, thanks for drawing this to my attention, Noram. I'll be keeping an eye on Sale. If he's willing to lie to me about that.
If you ever find a book on dragons or anything of the sort, I need you to
Give it to you. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll ask Nightingale if she's got anything like that.
dragons, Telemachy, or Illinormi. If you see any of those words, or Luminormi, I think, any of those words, just
Wait.
slip me it.
So, hang on.
For roleplay clarification, I told the captain a soul was taken before we promised not to lie to each other, and I've been careful not to say that. And I've been careful not to say that your soul. I've been vague.
Okay. I don't know if I'd have picked up. Well, I didn't pick up on that, so I'll pretend that I haven't noticed it. You said
captain has always brought it up, and I just haven't clarified.
Yeah, sure. You said Telemachy Lenorum Dragon, right?
Correct.
You think Telemachy is its name, and Lenorum is the type of dragon it is?
No, Rug.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Norim. This is well outside of my wheelhouse. I don't feel comfortable talking about this too much, and I'm not sure how much help I am going to be in your investigation. I'll keep a lookout for any books, but if you are insistent,
look for books and know that your soul is eternally damned.
Yeah, well, you don't know that. Trust me. I mean, even if this thing doesn't have my soul, I'm pretty sure my soul's eternally damned anyway. So, it's much of a muchness to me.
Well, when we get to the Fountain of Youth, Captain, you won't have to worry about that, will you now?
Even your old wife's cells, Norim. Maybe it's in one of those imaginary cities inside a snow globe somewhere.
I'm gonna find it, Captain.
Well, if you do, let me know. I'd certainly take a drink. What do you say, Wiley? Maybe you could do with a sip from the Fountain of Youth as well.
Come on now. No one believes the Fountain of Youth is a real thing. It's just a fairy tale.
Norm will look at him, straight-faced, dead-eyed, and say, "It's real. I know it is."
Wiley sits there in silence.
Hard to argue with that kind of confidence, Wiley. Well, if anyone's stubborn enough to find it, Norm, it's you.
Norman.
And I go back to rowing.
You can make your way to the shore, pull the boat up, and hike across the open area all the way to Port Ferris itself.
Well, when we get outside the city, I will say, to the group. Right, perhaps we should split up. Meet back here at sundown.
Sure, it's wise to split up with me, Captain?
Well, I'm not sure it's wise to stay together. At least you, Wiley. You want to just go and enjoy the sights, right?
I just want to go down to the dock, sit and take a gander at the people and listen to the cries of the... Just, you hear the sounds of laughter and playing and the girly voices on the wind over at the base, and just have to know what it is, what it looks like in the flesh.
Sure. Well, listen, before you go and do what you want, meet us back here at sundown, but just have in mind, if somebody going to ask you what ship you came in on or where you came from, just have an answer to that. It doesn't need to be ironclad, but just don't like babble when you get asked, have a story.
Of course. What, you think this is my first time on land? I know
Just
how to
checking.
keep a low profile, he says as he takes the blade on his hand and like unscrews the wood and tucks it in like a sheath and puts it in a bag and just like walks around with one arm and like a little wooden dongle at the end.
All right.
As Wiley walks off, Neuron will call out, Wiley.
Aye?
Fuck a stare, and I'll give him an eye.
He raises his like handless arm to the sky. Fuck a stare. Right in the arse.
It's good enough for him. Okay.
All right. Okay, Norum, so we're going to stick together, but first of all, I need to do something with your hair. I'm going to like spend some time like braiding his hair the way I braid mine and like putting some of the makeup that I use when I come to town on Norum as well, so he looks different. Mm-hmm. And maybe like I'll take off my like jacket and put it on Nilrim. So I've just got like a shirt and pants now, but he's not just like in a fucking robe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you in robes, Nilrim, usually?
I think so.
Yeah. So I'd like to put a jacket on you so you look a bit non-wizard like.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
I like to think of these manly pirates, this murdering, torturing psychopath, the looter and like conqueror of lands, coming into Port Ferris, but like first you got to sit down and braid each other's hair for a little while, make sure it's got these nice little lots, put some flowers in it. Oh my god, this jacket would look so good on you, Nilram. Here you go. They're not going to recognize you.
Exactly that.
Okay. And into town we go. When you arrive, you notice that there is a very different atmosphere in the town today. People are sort of hurrying through the streets rather quickly. There's not a lot of people hanging out and like looking around. You can see that the bars are actively closed. Most of the shops are closed too. And you can see that there is a group of people sort of gathered down towards the main dock in the middle of town. Something is happening.
It's probably not in our best interests, but curiosity is a powerful motivator. You want to go take a look?
But of course, Captain.
All right. Keep behind the crowd. And I will, I get no one to follow me. I'll sort of just like walk through the crowd, opening up a, just so we don't bump into anyone, or if anyone looks too important, I'll take a different route.
Right, yeah.
Stay away from the guards, that kind of thing.
Yeah. You make your way through the crowd. You can tell that no one's really paying attention to the two of you at this moment. And you will find a board, like a message board in town that has a big piece of paper nailed to it. And it looks like one of those wood block printings where someone took the time to carve something on wood and then they can just dip it and like stamp it over and over again. You can send like mass messages this way, but it's like really laborious. It takes days to carve the wood block. And then, the press isn't that great. It's a very old form of like mass production for writing. Labor intensive. Pain in the ass. And this is a big version of it up here that you can read from where you're sitting. It is a message from the White Prince himself. It says that out in the Outer Islands, pirates have been running free. In the inlet, the inner islands, there has been something moving in the waters, something that has been stirring the ships here and causing them to rock back and forth. And that the enemies of the White Prince and the Lord Astaire are among us today. Not since these islands were first taken over has there been such a sense of strife. all good citizens of the land must band together, keep an eye out for pirates, report anything suspicious. Assassins have tried to take down the White Prince, but luckily for him, Astaire, the great god of order, told him what he must do to survive the assassin's attempt. Into the blessed bath the White Prince went, so when the assassin came with magic from afar to strike the White Prince down, there he sat in a bath of eternal life, able to overcome even the worst assassin's magic. Be on the lookout, good citizens, for pirates, for murderers, for mysterious forces that would work against our great empire. Together, in unison, we can overcome these dark times. And now most of the people here are sort of illiterate and they can't read. So there's other people standing nearby, like reading out the message to the people near them. Everyone's sort of at like a different place. The two of you, I believe, are literate. Or at least Nilrim is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're both literate.
Wait,
yeah, sorry.
you're literate, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you said illiterate.
No, both literate. So yeah, you can read this and come across it.
Well, that's ominous. Bath of eternal life.
What I've been
Maybe you found your answer. Looks like we're on the right path, Norin. Destiny is a fickle mistress. I just wonder where it's taking me. We should get away from this crowd.
Let's go hit the orphanage.
Well, I don't know where it is, but I need to go and speak to the blacksmith. Why don't we go and speak to him? I'll ask him where the orphanage is.
Let's just split up, save time. Norum throws out casually.
You're not going to cause too much trouble. You don't even know where it is.
I'll be able to find it.
How?
Resourceful.
You got a locate child spell in there?
Norum pokes the guy next to him. Do you know where the orphanage is?
Oh yeah, it's down over that way.
All right.
Thank you.
Once the guy goes away, sundown, right?
Sundown. Same spot?
Yep. Okay.
Bring down.
Good luck.
Party
I don't need
splits up.
luck.
Again. All right, I
rest-
guess the blacksmith.
Yeah. We're going to flip over to the other party now, approaching Angel Island. Now, you guys have a whole bunch of crew with you on this boat, and you're using the drums to sail your way out here. And not long after you leave the captain and Nilrim behind, the question of what to do with the boat when you arrive on Angel Island comes into full view. And with no one else to lean on, the two of you are going to have to solve this problem. What the hell are you going to do?
I'll turn to Archie and say, Archie, like we're kind of, I assume we're like talking quiet. Archie, right? Listen, I don't think we're like very good problem solvers, but we can pass it off as us testing the crew to get them to come up with ideas.
I like the way you think. Yeah. John always talks about this delegating the tasks, yeah.
Son
Making
of
other
a
people do your
bitch.
work. That's what being a captain is about, right?
So
Absolutely.
I'll hold out my hand, like fist bump Archie.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And then I'll turn to the crew and I'll say, all right, you lot of salty sea sprays. If you're going to be on the crew and coming out with us, you've got to be thinking on your feet. You've got to be quick-witted and intelligent. Now, it's a pirate crew. We don't have papers. We can't see an inquisitor. I don't even know if this island has an inquisitor. But even if it didn't, we can't even land because we don't have papers. So how the hell do you think we have to get onto this island without being found and keeping our ship safe? I'll point at Mary Beth, my student, expecting her to come up with a good answer here.
Mary Beth sits for a moment, thinks. Well, if we had the skiff that the other two took, we could anchor on the far side of the island and just row out to the island. And then we would never have docked or come there. And we would just be a boat sitting out there. And we could set up some lines to make it look like we're just fishing out in the waters. but they took the skiff.
A great idea, Mary Beth. A fantastic idea.
Sorry to interrupt. Don't we have more than one skiff, though?
But there's one skiff that you would put on the boat. Like, you can't... It's, what do you call it? You may have more than one skiff, but your boat really only carries one skiff at a time.
No, but I'm
Plus, like,
saying
the
we
other
would
supplies
have
and cargo.
taken the spare one to go to the island and left the one on the ship, probably.
Maybe, but the way you described it was that you were saying goodbye to these people and they were dropping you off and leaving you there.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
I think we rode out.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but that's fine. That's what we're doing.
Do you want to
It's
roll
okay.
like a wisdom check or anything, or you just want to go with that?
I mean, this
No,
was
no,
an
I think it's
unforeseen
happened.
problem, so
That's
I
fine.
think
Yeah,
we're
sure.
here. Yeah.
That's that's a good idea if we had a skiff. Yeah. Are there any ideas that do not involve skiffs? Show of hands.
Bobby's hand shoots up. I got one.
Bobby, my boy, what do you think?
This, I've been listening to Wiley. This is a longship. It has a very shallow draft, which means it is capable of going up rivers. Let's find a
It
river, not near a town or an outpost, and sail up the river until we have lots of cover, and then park it there. And that way we will be on land and hidden from view.
I look at Sail. Well, Bobby's got a good head. He's got on his shoulders. He's a smart kid.
I do. I like the plan. It's a good one. However, there is a problem. If we do get into trouble, and we're going to be here a while,
We are.
they set up a ship at the mouth of the river waiting for us.
No,
When we try to get off the island in a hurry,
we're trapped.
we're stuck.
No
We're
way
dead.
out. Yeah.
Bobby, you just killed the crew. Bobby,
Every
you just
single
killed us
one.
all.
Bobby, scrub the deck.
Yes, sir. And grabs bucket and starts scrubbing.
Where I teach you about scrubbing. Circles, Bobby. Circles.
Circles, circles, not lines. Circle, circle. Yes, sir. He starts scrubbing.
Fundamentally, these are good ideas. But
John
everyone is an
Brophy
enemy.
Raises a hand tenderly.
What do you got for us?
We could wait until another ship looks like it's going to approach and approach that ship and give them a bunch of money if they'll dock with us on it.
An interesting idea.
I
What do we
like
do
it.
about our ship?
Leave it
Yeah.
anchored out in the sea?
Unattended?
Then that... Well, little Bobby can watch it.
Bobby could watch it. Yeah, that's true.
Bobby looks up from his scrubbing in horror.
This is one vacation to this poor kid.
Oh, Bobby will be watching the ship for his previous suggestion.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about this plan too.
Yeah. It seems
It's
like
very suspicious to leave a ship out in open water. Don't you agree, Archie?
Yeah. What if the weather turns? What if it gets bad? If there's a storm, even if it's anchored, we might lose. And if also we still have to get out, right? So do we pay another crew from another ship to get back to the ship?
John Brophy nods. Yeah.
It's a pretty expensive plan.
There's only 100 gold here for us to have fun on.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up some of your loot, John? Or do you want to be a true pirate and get there with all your money?
Get there with all the money.
Yeah,
This is when
that's right, John.
James speaks up. James, who worked for the White Prince for a while. He says, well, it always used bureaucracy.
I'm listening.
It's a word I've never heard before. Tell me more.
If someone poses as the captain of the ship, they can go to the Inquisitor or Harbor Master, depending on wherever it is we're landing, and tell them that in a storm our papers got washed off and that we need to request new papers or at least to know the person in town who can get us new papers. That will trigger a chain reaction of logistics and talking, to which whoever the captain is must be involved for the entire time, and it will take at least 2 days to sort out. Whoever the captain is would be stuck in that period of time, and at the end of the 2 days, since we wouldn't have those papers sorted, we could just leave and say, well, we have papers, a spare set back home, so we're just going to go back home. And in the meantime, the rest of the crew could walk around the island while the captain plays decoy and bureaucracy. But I don't think it'll work for more than 2 days.
Okay. Archie's followed like about 50% of this plan. So he's just looking at Sail. It sounds
It's a good plan, but there are maybe more experienced pirates would spot the flaws, which of course I am.
Me too, of course.
They're likely to impound our ship with chains, and we have no way to remove them. They're likely to want to check everyone on the boat, or even keep us on the boat without papers. Suspicious thing. It's bureaucratic. How do you say that?
Bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy.
It's the
Bureaucracy.
bureaucracy in these islands.
No,
is
Sail bureaucracy.
notorious.
We could, put a bunch of water in the ship and cut some holes in the sails and make the ship look like it was got in a storm. Lend credence to our solution. Beg, say the chains might drag it down.
Destroy the ship.
James
wanna-
sits back down.
It's a good idea, but the biggest flaw is that we have a spellcaster on the crew, and any Inquisitor would find me. Let me tell you the genius plan that has never failed, not once, for us as pirates. We find the town we want to go to.
Find the
We
town.
sail approximately 2 to 3 miles either side of the town.
2 or 3.
Put the ship on the land, and then leave it completely undefended.
Everyone looks at
That
you
is-
surprised.
Worked every single time. And that is the lesson here, recruits. You're overthinking it. You should, as a pirate, you can't, if you overthink it, people can outthink you. But if you don't think, then other people can never outthink you.
But won't
So
they
you
find the
just
ship?
do.
Who cares? We're the strongest people in the world.
Yeah, we'll just take
We
it
can just
back.
kill
Who
them
cares?
and
I'll
leave.
just punch them to death. Have you seen me? Look at these babies.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's the Crimson Fist, so
That's right. Archie
Okay.
We'll start a sea chant.
And they will join in. Little Bobby pokes his head up. So that means I don't have to stay with the ship?
You're definitely staying with the ship, Bobby. We need someone to watch. Are you an idiot? We're gonna leave the ship out in the open. Someone's gotta watch it. Like, are we just gonna leave it completely unattended? Of course you're staying on the ship, Bobby.
Wait, we've never left someone watching the ship before. I feel like Bobby's bad luck. I don't think we should leave him with the ship. I feel like it'll be found. He'll make a noise.
We could leave him down in the ship, so people can't see him.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
I
I
think-
like it.
That's gonna work, yeah.
I like it.
So I'm
Alright.
just supposed to lay down in the ship and not poke my head up?
Yeah, you're watching the ship,
Exactly.
not the shore.
Yeah.
For how long?
Till we get back.
How long is that?
Could be weeks.
Guys, have a heart. Come on.
Could be a
Okay,
month.
I'll uncontrollably laugh and then turn to Archie. Okay, should we stop bullying him?
We'll take him a lot. We'll take him out.
Okay,
I'll put my arm around Bobby. Would never do that to you, Bobby, right? You didn't really think we were gonna do that to you, right?
I did. Yeah, I really did.
You think we would do that to our crew?
He
Oh my
Bobby.
god.
missed up a little bit when you call him crew.
Bobby, the crew is the most important thing. Do you understand? We'd never do that to our mates.
Okay. He seems reassured. And you come to
Alright.
Angel Island. There's the town. You've been here before. There's the sandy shore a few miles away where you parked your boat last time. There's the resort that you walked past that had all those figures dancing in it.
All right, crew, let's do it. And I command the crew to beach the vessel.
Yup. With the ghostly rowers, you row up, whoosh, put the boat up on the deck, or not on the deck, on the sand. Everyone gets out and heaves and hoes as the waves come, and you push it further and further up onto the shore until it's in a nice, secure place. The only question left is what to do with the drums.
What do we do with the drums?
You know, I go over to Bobby. You've gotten strong with training, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you can take care of these?
I can carry them. Keep them safe.
Sounds like a plan. Right, Sail?
Seems like a absolutely could never go wrong. Bobby
Yeah.
with the drums.
It's fine. Yeah, Bobby's very proud to take the drums. He sees it as a sign of, what do you call it, responsibility, of ownership. He's got a real duty with the crew here. He's not just some lackey. He's watching the drums.
Yep.
He doesn't realize it's just another piece of bitch work for him to do. So you dock your boat, head into town, and you will very quickly come across another one of these posted papers that says the exact same thing that the other players saw, except this one has been here longer. This message has been around in town, so it's not like there's a whole bunch of people gathered around it for the first time. It's just up on the message board with a few people standing about looking at it, maybe reading it for the first or the third time. Sale, you are literate, as are a few of your other people. At least John Brophy is literate. And you guys can read the message.
Refresh my memory. What exactly? It said something about a fish assassin. I did it.
Yeah, there's I didn't have a script written down, but there are dangers, there are creatures, there's things in the sea that are coming after them, there's pirates. The White Prince was going to be murdered by an assassin through magic, but Astaire told him to go into the magical, ever life-giving bath, and then the magic wouldn't be able to hurt him anymore. And so there he was when the magic tried to strike him down, and he survived through it by the grace of God Astaire. And everyone needs to work together to, overcome these problems.
Awesome. So as I read the part about the assassin, I grab Archie and be like, Archie,
Wait,
I think the fish was actually magical.
Wait, the one that we...
Yeah, the one that we got.
Oh my
I
god.
think it tried to kill my prince.
Dude, we could have wished for so much cooler shit.
Dude, we could have wished for so much gold.
We could have wished for so much gold. John's such an idiot, dude.
Yeah, I'll read the message, and I'll be like, well, at least we're having an impact. I'll kind of say that to myself. And I'll go find a bar that we haven't been to before, that we haven't cloud killed before.
Yeah, let's get some drinks.
Yeah, you head to a bar that you haven't been to before, and we'll flip back to the other party. Way back up near Flotsam Island. Actually, on Flotsam Island, in Port Ferris. Our two party members have split. One to the orphanage, one to Lady Nightingale's place. Let's do the orphanage first.
The blacksmith, actually, but yeah.
Blacksmith. So that's you, Nilrum. You can make your way to the Smith Street, and you will see that there are a bunch of forges up and down here, but most of them seem to be closed. There is one that is still operating right now.
On a 1 or
its
2,
doors are
Nilrum's
open.
going to take the coat off because it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay, he keeps the coat on. Yeah, Nilrum will saunter up to the orphanage, give a big rap on the door.
Oh, this is the orphanage, not the Smith shop. Okay,
Oh, yeah. Nilrum's doing the orphanage.
gotcha.
John is doing the Smith shop, whatever order you want to do.
Got it. Yeah, I want to do the orphanage first. You make your way to the no, where is it here? The orphanage. You make your way to the orphanage. It is a small building. Sort of tucked underneath the shadow of that big mountain at the back of town. And above the, up on the mountain, there's been a lot of rainfall, and there's a bunch of like natural seepages that sort of come out of the rock, and so this orphanage is getting like sort of splattered with water and spray from it all the time. The roof here is sort of constantly being in a lot of rain, constantly damp, never in direct sun, never able to dry out, so it's got that like wet, gross thatch all over it. The street that it's on is sort of overgrown with vegetation and kind of dark, always here in the shade. It's not very well taken care of. The building itself is like a 2-story mud brick building that's kind of decrepit. There's a couple of other things nearby, but this area, like the mines are over there a little bit, and so it's loud all the time, and the rest of the street is just kind of gross. There's broken rock everywhere. There's little bits of the mountain that have come off and dirt on the ground. The roads themselves are like, some of the grasses are growing over in areas where the bricks have been removed. You get this sort of grungy, dirty little feeling about it. Sitting out in front of the orphanage in an area that once would have been like a nice, clear, open, grassy spot for kids to play, but is now just sort of overtaken by jungle, is a small child who's leaned against a tree, looking out in your direction. You can see in the open windows of the orphanage behind him some sort of class going on with a teacher who has a ruler, like making motions in the direction of the class. One of the other windows shows like bedrooms that are completely unoccupied at this moment. Another window looks into a big mess hall where there are some kids seated around a table eating some sort of gruel.
Normal will point at the child and flip him a silver and ask, why aren't you in class?
The young boy looks at you and says, "Teacher got mad at me, told me to go outside and contemplate my position in the world, whatever that means."
What'd you do?
She sat down in her chair weird and made a sound like a fart, and so I made a farting noise at her.
Classic. Are there sorcerers in 2nd edition?
In this world, there are, yes.
In this world, there are. Okay.
Yes.
And how does that, I guess, manifest itself?
So wizard is someone who like gains knowledge from without. They study and they practice and they learn from others, and it's more of like an academic approach. A sorcerer is someone who has innate magic that sort of burns within them, and learning and studying and reading doesn't really help because they're not tapping into an external source. They're tapping into an internal fire, and it's more about inward reflection and self-control. You couldn't learn things from other people's spell books, but you could sort of direct your own learning.
Interesting. Okay. So you're not the brightest in the class, I assume, yeah?
Smart people can be funny too.
We'll contemplate that. I guess that's true. I'm pretty funny. My crewmates have a laugh at me every once in a while, or I guess have a laugh with me. Do you mind answering a few questions for me for another one of these, and I'll pull out another silver piece.
Yeah. Kid looks up at you in your direction.
He'll give him a quiz.
All right. We will roll this child's intelligence. 15.
Not good enough.
Show remarkable aptitude. It's not good enough for you.
It's not good enough. No. Normal will hand him the silver piece and ask him to point in the window who he thinks is the smartest in the class. Who's always answering the questions first, paying attention.
Well, the Inquisitor came by recently and tapped a bunch of us to come with him and visit on their boat in a couple days. So that was me, and it was...
Smarter than Nimric.
It was... And he names two women and one other boy.
If you get them to meet with me during recess, by, and he'll point by like a tree or a house or something. I'll give you each a gold piece. And whoever's the smartest among you, I'll give 10 gold pieces.
Easy.
And he'll
peasy.
show him a bag of gold.
Super excited. He lights
But
up.
you can't tell your teachers about it.
Oh, he like puts the money in a pocket. They would take it from me anyway. They said we're not supposed to have any money. Anything we earn belongs to the orphanage.
I'll shake his head. Disgusting.
Well,
All right, I'll be over there in a few hours. He'll wait.
recess comes, and you can go ahead and meet with these 4 kids, 4061. They are the smartest ones around. So here is the other young boy. Here is one of the girls. Ooh, she cannot have that stat. She would not have been tapped. She must have that. There we go. That's one of the girls. And here's here's the other girl. Another 15. 2 13s, 2
Oh,
15s.
good. Nilram will give each of them 1 gold piece. I'm gonna take that off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 gold pieces that I need to give.
There's 4 of them, so
4 of them so far. And I'll give a gold piece to the kid who went and got everybody. So, well, thank you. Do you know any other kids who aren't in the orphanage? Do you ever hang out with them?
he shakes his head. No, we're not supposed to.
Why not?
Drugs, just not supposed to.
Do you ever think to inquire a reason? You just
When I
follow
ask
rules
questions
blindly?
like that, they smack me. But the Inquisitor says where he's taking us is a nice place, with lots of room to meet other kids and learn and not have to follow the nun's rule.
Nerum nods. So the Inquisitor's gonna take you guys away and teach you in the ways of a stair, yeah?
He shrugs. I don't know, but he said we're smart and that we need to go with him.
Nerum nods. All right, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, he says a bunch
You guys
of
wanna
other kids
go,
on the boat too.
Oh. Have you met them yet?
No, haven't gotten to the boat yet.
You
You
guys
should
go
be
to the
back
beach
in tomorrow
often?
or the day after. We see the beach, but we don't often go.
Normal stretch. How about we go on a quick trip? A little trip to the beach.
The kid looks
I'll
back
give you
to
each
the
a gold.
building. Oh no, recess will be over soon. We can't be gone.
You would
in
even
real
skip
trouble
class
for
for one
that.
of these, and he'll pull out 5 more gold pieces.
Combined general will check for all 4 of the kids is 17. Their willpower is weak. They are persuaded by money. They will come with you to the beach. It will mean catching a beating later, but how are they going to pass up this opportunity to get a bunch of money?
True. No one will take him to the beach. Secluded, away from the town. The White Prince can't have these kids. It's a, foothold in.
Oh no.
So when they get to the beach, Norm will have them all look out to the ocean. And he'll pull out some sand out of his pocket and blow it on them. He'll get their attention by saying, "Look at this cool colored sand I have."
Kids look in the direction the colored sand blows across them. You
Think
roll
I
me
need to roll a d6?
All 5 kids immediately fall unconscious.
Nilram will handle them with the dagger that he stole from the bard and push their bodies into the sea. None of them good enough to go with him.
White Prince won't have these kids on his.
And Nilram will head back into town in search of others.
More children to the slaughter.
Why don't we go to our last break then? Come back on the other side and see what's happening in the other town. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. back on Angel Island.
The happier place.
The happy fun times. Our party has arrived. They've come onto the sand and they're gonna start looking around and hanging out and doing things before everyone disbands to go in their own separate ways and do their own fun things. Are there any rules? Is there like a reconvene at a certain date at a certain time thing going on? What is the? Are you guys
I think-
watching?
Go ahead.
I think we should somehow make sure that Bobby doesn't like fuck off with the drums or lose them or whatever. There should probably be like someone keeping an eye on that.
No, Bobby's on watch. I think he stays with us. He's doing like
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
his punishment
Yeah,
for being Bobby.
because honestly, Archie he doesn't really even care. He just kind of wants to get drunk and hang out. He's not like here to do anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the others, just like
My thought was to interrupt is like we get the first round together and go through the ground rules in the pub and then be
Yes.
like, okay, you're free for X days.
Okay.
so. What are the ground
What is
rules?
the-
What did the captain say? No. What? No killing people.
Keep a low profile.
Yeah. That was one. Yeah.
Yeah. And stay out of trouble. Now, for extra points, I'll look around the table that we're sitting at. Who knows what the extra rule is?
You say this to the assembled people?
Yeah, I'm like, who knows what the last rule is? It's the unwritten rule among our crew.
Bobby raises his hand. Never tell anyone where the base is.
Not that rule.
That's also a rule though.
I'll lean forward and I'll kind of sit in my elbow and I say, the unwritten rule is when the captain's not watching, there are no rules. So once you're out of sight, you do whatever you want.
Okay.
And I'll raise my glass to that.
Everyone lifts whatever glasses they have nearby. They all clink together. Quickly, they are downed. James, Janet, Mary Beth, and Shoshana quickly finish their glasses and run off together. You know, two in one direction, one another, one on the third.
As
Direction.
Shoshana runs, I yell over to her. Shoshana, real quick, if you go into a fight, remember your breathing, okay? It's the most important part. You gotta work on that. Work on the breathing, you know, the stance, you got that all down. Just, if you do get in a fight, remember, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now you go have fun.
She shuffles. John Brophy sits at the table with you, two of you and Bobby, and looks around and rubs his hands together. You know, I've been here before. Did I ever tell you the time that I came to Angel Island and all the time that I spent here? Well, there was this, and he begins to launch into a tale about the last time he was on Angel Island.
I'm gonna roll a con check to see if I fall asleep. No, I'm good.
At the end of the story, Archie will ask him if last time he was on here he met anyone who asked.
I'll like burst out laughing and slap my knee, like tears in my eyes. I'm sorry, John. He got you good, man.
Well, maybe I should spend some more time by myself anyway. I see enough of your ugly mugs. He gets up and takes his money and
No, it was
shuffles
a
away.
good story, John.
It's a great story, dude.
He walks out. Bobby looks at the two of you. So what are we
Having
gonna
a
do?
good time, Bobby.
You're gonna get us some drinks, Bobby.
Yep.
He, hoisting the drums under his arm, he goes to the bar, puts down some money, gets some drinks, brings them all back.
Now, the most important part of any adventure, be it a holiday or anything else, Bobby, is that we'll be sitting here doing absolutely nothing, and someone somewhere on our crew is going to cause a problem.
Are you
And
sure?
that's where we come in. Oh, it's never failed us before. It's in fact, I think it's a pattern.
Yep.
Someone's going to get into trouble. There's going to be a fight. And then we're all going to get away scot-free. It happens every time. Isn't that right, Archie?
Every single time. And you know who saves the day? Archie's already pretty drunk at this point. You know who saves the day at the end? Two people. This guy and this guy.
Archie. I think you're forgetting all the times that I've saved the day. You know what? You're bigger than me, so I'll let it slide. Just
You
this
did.
once.
You did make me glow pretty while I was doing it, though.
It's true. Oh shit! Remember when you went up that tower glowing, and like obliterated everyone? That was
God.
amazing.
And then you blew them up with the lightning. Holy shit! I'm telling this story pretty loudly in the bar as well. I'm drunk as fuck.
As you guys are telling this story, a wealthy middle-aged woman comes by and sort of drops her bag, like her purse of coins. She goes to pick it up, and you can see it's right next to the table where you are. You can see that it's got gold inside of it. She like picks it up and puts the other coins back in. And then she looks over, catches you noticing that she dropped her bag of gold coins, sort of leans on the table and like does this and goes, "Don't worry, I've got a sure thing. Any of you betting men? Got a thing. We can make some money."
I look at Sale.
Go ahead.
I'll just smile at you.
I'll lean back in my chair and say, "Gambling is degenerate, but so am I. What's your wager?"
You see the dog races happening up the road. Let's just say I got a man on the inside. One dog is sure to come out on top. Been given a little extra something to help him get going, raise a stair and all that jazz. The only issue is that I only have so much money to make based on whatever I can put in. The odds on the dog are 2-1. I can give you 3-2 odds on it. If you want to put in a little bit of money, that way I make some extra money and you make a little bit of money and we all come out of this pretty rich. What do you say?
Archie has no idea what these numbers mean. He just looks over to Sales like, is she saying we can make money out of this?
I'll like look at Archie and say, I have never gambled outside of cards in my life. I'm gonna be like straight up here. I have no idea what she just said. But I think we can make money out of this. What does 3-1 mean?
Well, 3-2.
Yeah, can you explain that?
So for every gold you bet, you get back 2 gold, right? You give them 1 gold, and if your dog wins, they give you 2 gold. So you double your money.
Yes.
But I want to make some more money, so I will give you 3-2. So you give me 2 gold, and when our dog wins, because we're in this together now, then you would get back 3 gold, and then I would get the extra 1 instead of getting back 4. And that way, I bring you in on this good thing, and I still get to profit by it because I'm trying to make some extra cash here, and there's just no reason not to help other people profit in the meantime. But we got to decide quickly because the races are in half an hour.
So on the one time I give you 1 gold, the other time I give you 2 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the other one better? I don't get it.
Say in the first one you gave me 2 gold, I would give you 4, right? So you give me 2 gold, I give that 2 gold to the race bettors. They give me 4 gold back, and then I give you 3 of that 4. 75% profit for you.
So, heard that, Sale? It's a profit.
And you say this is guaranteed? 100% chance of return on our money?
Well, I mean, nothing is ever 100% guaranteed. Then looks around and leans in. I heard you guys mentioning lightning bolts. I got a friend who's got this little bit of magic. He's a cleric. He's not one of those austere clerics, though. He's Cleric of Martha. And one of the spells that the Cleric of Martha has access to, one of their blessings, is a blessing to remove any fatigue from the body. So right before the race starts, he's gonna give the dog a little something, make it immune to fatigue. And so while the other dogs slow down, this one will just bolt all the way to the lead. Should be the one that come in first. Not a dog that normally wins anything, so the odds on him are pretty good.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't give a fuck about the goal. I just want to see the dogs run. That sounds funny as fuck. Let's do it.
Yeah, come on down to
let's
the dog races. But
Now-
before we get there, how much do you want to make?
Did I give? Oh wait, did I give the crew their gold? I wonder.
Mhm.
I probably would have given them. So I've only
You
got
probably
mine and
would have.
Archie's. And
We
whatever I
each have how much?
We've got 10 for the trip, and I think whatever we have ourselves.
I think there are 8 of you. You got 100 gold, so you gave 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others, and the 3 of you have the remaining 5 gold, or 50 gold, minus whatever you
So we
spent
have
on
25
drinks.
each.
Oh, I definitely.
well,
we're
Bobby's
definitely
here.
betting Bobby's money. We're definitely betting Bobby's money.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
it
Yeah,
looks
we're putting
excited.
all of we're just giving her all of Bobby's money right now.
Now,
Yeah.
in my head, I'm thinking to myself, if I had a day to prepare, I could have like done like the soften earth underneath the dog race. I just like guaranteed that the lowest dog won, but I don't have that kind of time. It crosses my mind, but I'll look at this lady and do I get a sense that am I being scammed? Is this the NFT of dog racing?
Well, she is scamming the dog races presently, so that immediately is a red flag, right? If she's like, hey, I've got the inside scoop, we're gonna cheat the system, instantly that brokers some amount of suspicion, because if you're gonna cheat the system, you might cheat someone else. On the other hand, you were talking about lightning bolts, and you do have some money, and you did accidentally see her money, so
I give
screw it,
I give her
actually.
I give her 15 of my gold.
excellent.
Yeah,
So,
I'll
You
give mine and Thingy's gold, Billy's.
Right, you
Or
would have had
Bobby's.
50, 10 for Bobby, so 40 between the two of you. So you give her
Yeah.
the 10 of Bobby's and the 15 of Archie.
15 of mine.
And Sale, do you give her
Uh,
your money?
I'll give 15 as well. I've got like a little bit of extra on me.
Great. She'll take you guys out of the bar, down the street, over to the racetracks, and go into the stands, find a good spot. And you can see all the dogs are sort of like parading around beforehand, so everyone can take a good look at the dogs from the stands to see what's what. They've got a cat that they're holding in a cage that's real riled up, that the dogs are going to chase, because this doesn't have like the mechanical
Archie
bunny.
is so excited about this. He thinks that this cat is going to get ripped apart. He's so hyped.
And she points to a dog in the middle of the pack. This dog with like a little blue blanket over the side of it that has a picture of like a sun with like wavy lines coming off of it as like the herald for him. And the dog's name, she tells you, is Tigger. It's Tigger over there. He's not normally the fastest dog, but today he's never going to get tired. He's going to dominate this race. Okay, I got to go make the bet. Stay right here. The race is going to start in 5 minutes. And she like points over to where all the betting is done. Like I'll be over there doing the betting.
Do they serve refreshments at this event?
She nods. Yeah, just yell at one of the cocktail waitresses.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely get a big jug of beer.
Excellent. And the woman goes off to make your bets.
All right, we wait for the race.
You can get some cocktails, you can have some drinks. The races do start in 5 minutes. They're off. And they race around the track and round the track. And you can see Tigger there is near the middle of the pack, moving towards the front of the pack. And then towards the end, he just doesn't break out before the rest of them. And it's another dog whose name is Black that makes it out at the very front. A dog with like a silver moon on the side of the blue tarp that hangs over him, or was hanging over him earlier. And she like drops her head in her hands and says, "That's all my money. That's everything I've been able to collect. You know how long it's taken me to put together 50 gold? Oh my god,
Archie-
I'm ruined."
Go ahead.
Archie will smash the ground. Fucking god damn it. I thought they were going to kill the cat.
No, they don't kill the cat. The cat just runs.
They don't kill... What's the point of this? It was so boring.
She sits back in like despair. I don't have any money left. That's literally everything I had.
It's worse than that, lass. Now you owe me money.
And me. And Bobby. Bobby's a real bad fella.
Are you any good at sailing?
Nope.
Because it's gonna be the only way you make that money back.
Yep.
You know what? Why don't we go talk to the cleric? See what's up. Cleric of Martha shouldn't be lying to anyone like that. there's someone here who's wronged, it's probably that cleric. They probably double-crossed us. I bet they've did that to a whole bunch of other people. They've probably got all the money that they've scammed. It's probably 6 times as much to be made from the cleric. Let's go. And she gets up and sets out through the crowd towards the back of the dog pens, back where the racers are and all the people are.
Yeah, I'll go with her. Archie, you coming?
I'll be coming. Bobby is too.
Yeah. In the crowd, she seems to be really good at sort of slipping through the crowd, a lot faster than the rest of you, a little bit more nimble, and quickly she moves ahead and ahead. Can I get perception checks from the 3 of you? Nope. Nope. You will follow. Why does Bobby have 0 perception? That's not right.
He's blind.
He's not an
Wait, I thought Bobby had like a really high perception. I thought we rolled that before and it was like 15. I could be wrong.
Maybe he's got 15 charisma.
Maybe
Maybe
that
it was his
that was
charisma. Okay. Perception is 10 now. It doesn't pass. So only Archie is able to keep an eye on this woman as she like darts through the crowd, trying to escape, or trying to not escape, but trying to get to the cleric as quickly as possible. And you barely keep an eye on her as she like makes it round the corner and goes over towards the stalls. You go after her, following after her, get around the corner to the stalls, and there's just like a set of open doors that lead into the area where you would like have each individual dog. You can hear the racers back there talking to their dogs. She made it to the corner first, so you got to go like stall to stall looking for the dog, or looking for the cleric, or looking for the woman. But pretty quickly, you don't see her. Doesn't seem to be here. Go from one stall to the other, and you just had eyes on her. You just saw her go around this corner, and now like she's not in any of the 7 stalls that hold the 7 dogs.
Is there another way out?
It's just like the open side of a barn, and then the path continues this way, and there's forest on that side, and like a little park over there. It's sort of an outdoor area, and you're just along the back side of the barn.
Where did she go?
I turn to Sail. Listen, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't actually really care about mine or Bobby's money. And also this looks really fishy. You want to just head out, get a couple more drinks? We got a little bit more gold left.
Yeah, but she owes us.
Yeah. Listen, Sail, if you want to go in there, I'll be your crewmate. I'll handle it. I'll beat the shit out of her till we get our gold back. But I'm just telling you right now, I do not care.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Who cares about money? I'll turn around. Throw my
It's not our money. Most of it's Bobby's money. Am I right, buddy? Anyway, Bobby, you're buying the next round.
Wait, but I don't have any more money.
You're incurring debt on your wages, Bobby.
He hangs his head. Guess it's fair that you got the last round. Okay. And it turns out I cannot tempt you guys into going on a murdering spree at the dog tracks.
I was
once.
I wanted
Nah,
to.
you needed no room there. Wrong
Yeah,
people.
dude, she would have been fucked. Oh my god.
Ah.
Oh, if you want to be really dark, you probably could have killed all the dogs for winning and leave
Oh, yeah,
the
true.
tiger alive.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, back in the other lands, back at Port Ferris, Captain John Winters heads to the blacksmith shop.
Well, yeah, but I want to take a bit of a roundabout route. I want to try and observe some of the guards around. Maybe I can find this person myself. So the description of the person that I have is that they are 5'1", 165 pounds, ugly, with black and silver hair. It's a woman named Molly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'll do is I'll just go and like scope out some of the guards. If I find someone who I think might be her, I'll like eavesdrop on their conversations to see if anyone refers to them as Molly.
Yeah, give me a charisma check.
Yeah.
As you scout around the guards, you see someone that might match that description, but it's a little bit hard to tell. Charisma check is needed. A 24. It's definitely not this person. But you scoot around town a little bit more, spending an hour or so looking for various guards until you find one person who very clearly matches this description. A hell of an ugly woman with black and silver hair, who is coming out of a building, out of the, what would you call it? The constable's office, the sheriff's office here in town. And going around the backside to the latrine, not latrines, the outhouse out back. And goes inside
perfect.
and shuts the door.
Wait, hang on. Is this outhouse out of the way, I assume?
It's
not
just
in the
like
middle of
on the
street.
backside of the sheriff's office, so you would go down an alley to get there, but that alley connects to other things, and you can't see in it right now. You've got like a kind, not the whole alley because there's buildings in the way, but you can see sections of it.
Yeah, I'll wander down the alley.
Yeah, you head down the alley. There's like a row of 4 outhouses on the backside of the sheriff's office. And then there's another building there and some other buildings over there. You can see a single person hanging out back here, maybe a drunkard who's been kicked out of town or kicked out of a bar or something, who's just like hanging out in the alley with their head against a wall.
Sure, I give him a gold piece and tell him to go and get himself a drink.
Yeah, takes the gold and thanks, buddy. What do I owe you?
No worries, just leave.
He goes.
I will go into the outhouse next to Molly. I'll leave the door unlocked and ready to follow her out, but I'll just wait here for her to leave.
Yeah. You hear some loud noises, a lot of gas being passed over there, a couple of
Wait,
grunts.
actually, wait. Is there a lock on the door?
There's just like a little slidey wood thing that just like slides across.
Okay, actually, what I'm going to do is there like a flush on the toilet? I want to try and
No. It's just a pit in the ground that you shit in.
Yeah, okay. I want to be able to, like, when she opens the door, immediately attack her with, like, a sneak attack. Yeah. So I maybe just sort of, like, hang around the side of the outhouse. I know it's probably not perfectly bordered, so I don't want to be in a position where she might see my shadow or something like that.
Yeah, well, they're
So I'll
all
be
in a
careful.
row, so you can be, lean against the door of one, like the next outhouse over, and that should not be any problem.
Mm-hmm.
And after some grunting and some heaving and some, gross sounds, the door swings open with a prodigious smell, and out steps this woman who is hoisting up her pants and looking down at her belt and trying to like connect her.
Yeah, well, not
her
before. I mean, if
officer's
she's got her pants down, she's not wearing any armor on her legs, so I will. I just want to kill her.
Yeah.
Sneak attack.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll at +4. And she would never expect this. Right behind the sheriff's office, in the middle of town, you definitely have +4 bonus.
Yeah.
And sneak attack.
23.
It's an excellent hit.
Crit? No, sorry,
no.
we're not doing clear by 10. Yeah.
No.
So I'm a level 6 rogue now. I think it's still just 3 times, isn't it?
I believe so.
Is it 3 times on top, or is it 2 times on top?
It'd be 4 damage dice.
Yeah.
No, 4 damage. 3
15?
damage dice. Because if it was
Oh,
times
okay,
2,
so-
you'd be doing twice as many. Yeah.
So 11.
11. The dagger goes up and right into her gut, and her eyes go wide. She stumbles back. She drops onto the toilet seat.
I grab her body. Yeah, I make sure she like falls back into the outhouse. Mm-hmm. And I just like close the door, and I'll drag like a rock or something and just put it in front of the door to like jam it.
All right.
And then I will like leave
Give
immediately.
me a perception check to scout the area, see if anyone has spotted you, seen you.
Yeah. My perception's not great.
Yeah, there's no one around. It's totally fine.
Great.
Off you go.
I sheathe my rapier. I leave. I go straight to Nightingale's house.
Round the back again.
Round the back, give the gold piece to the gardener, halfling guy, gnome, halfling. Sorry, I get them confused.
Halfling.
Yeah, I give the gold piece to the halfling,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll wait to speak to Nightingale.
Yeah. Let's see. By now it's a little bit later in the day. 5 on the die. Day of the week
What was this
is
person's? No, there it is.
Friday. Day in.
Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot something. Can I cut some of the woman's hair, like some black hair and some silver hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Excellent. It's a Friday night. Lady Nightingale won't be back until late, the halfling tells you. She usually hangs out at, and he names the tavern, the first place that you met her, that very first place you came to when you came across Nightingale.
Am I going to miss the rendezvous at sundown if I wait for her?
Yeah, she's usually out pretty late.
Does she have, like, someone who manages her affairs?
Some affairs are managed by some people, but not, like, which affairs?
Well, I want to see if, like, that Ajora, the merchant, has dropped off taxes that she owes me. But if it's, like, shady business, so I don't know if, like, she would keep that from her castellan or whatever. I think I will make my way to her tavern where she's playing cards.
Okay. You meet Lady Nightingale at the tavern, whose name I have forgotten and is not in my notes.
What, her first name?
The tavern's name.
Oh.
Full name. They all have cool. I only give cool names.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
Roma. Blacksmith.
The noisy parrot.
Yeah, something like that. The noisy parrot.
Okay. So I go in and I scout around and look for Nightingale.
And sure
I
enough,
wanna
there she is.
Catch her eye, and then I'm going to walk out the bar.
Yeah. You catch her eye and head back out. She'll follow after a few minutes when there's like a nice break in the conversation. So you can hear the bar on the other side of the door as you step out.
I will, like, not look at her. I'll just be, like, leaning against the wall. Like playing with a coin or something, and then talking to her. And I'll say, not here for a social visit. Just wondering if you've heard back from Ajora yet. Wondering if I could pick up my first load of taxes.
You can indeed, she says, stopping to tie her like, fix the laces on her, the straps on her sandals.
I've got to be out of here before sundown, but I can meet you back at your place or somewhere else.
Meet me there in 20 minutes.
Right. And I'll, like, I crouch down and, like, tie my shoe or something, then walk off.
Yep. 20 minutes later, the two of you can meet at her place, and she will have a small little box for you that's sitting here. It's unlocked. It's just like a little case that closes.
Yep.
And she'll slide it across the table to you. Because you've been
Check
seated
it out.
outside. Flipping it open, it seems to be filled with gold.
How much are we talking here?
We're talking like maybe 500 gold.
Nice. Shall I avoid putting that down, or is it 500?
It's 500.
Perfect. I will throw 100 to Nightingale for the bill or whatever, and I say I still need an update on how much I owe.
Passive income, baby.
That's right.
She tells you how much. I completely forgot to calculate it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
sure. Okay, she tells me, so I know that now. But you can tell me outside of
Yeah.
the game. I will tip my hat to her and say a fleeting visit, but a lovely one. I must be making tracks, but it's always a pleasure to see you and give her a smile.
Yeah, she reciprocates the smile.
And yeah, I will head out via the blacksmiths.
You get to the blacksmith street. It's pretty quiet here. Looks like most of the businesses are closed. All that going on in town has really, shut down a lot of businesses while people associate and talk and take the day. You can go to the same building that you met Tom, the smith, at before. And you can see
Tom working?
You don't hear him pounding away at his forge, but you do see like movement inside the building, and looking through an open window, you can see Tom is there with his family inside. And he's got them gathered around, and they're all like talking together at a table.
Okay, I will. Can I get? Is there like a piece of parchment or anything like lying around?
No, paper and parchment are expensive.
Yeah, or a bit of cloth. Can I tear a bit of cloth off, like a blanket or something, with my dagger? Or just any bit of scrap fabric lying around inside the blacksmith's workshop?
Yeah, he's got like a bag of coal that you could cut a section of off of.
Yeah, okay. So I will do that, and then I'll put the hair and like fold it over inside the cloth, and just post it under his door.
Oh.
And then I shall make my way back to the rendezvous spot.
Yep. Mr. Moon, anything else that you wanted to do before you rendezvous?
Yeah, Norum probably finished his thing before school let out, so he's gonna go to he'll ask around. Where's the local school?
The local school is downtown. It's right near the port. You will get the answer.
He will go to the local school and wait for, I guess, either class to let out, or if class hasn't let out yet, he'll go inside and maybe speak with the teacher.
Class has not let out yet. It is one of these like one-room classrooms where everyone of all grades and ages are being taught. You will notice that the kids in here look to be like well-off children. This is not like a public education system. This would be like the merchant class, where there is a school that they can afford to send their kids to. The really fancy nobles, the really wealthy people would have like a governess that teaches their kids. Yeah.
I guess Noam will wait outside for class to settle, and as kids come out, he'll ask the first one who comes out, "Who can you point out to the kids who were tapped for the White Prince's ship?"
The kid looks at you,
and he'll say, "If you show me each one, I'll give you a gold."
Yeah, the first kid comes and like stops. Some other ones start to file behind him. The first one looks really confused at you, and like looks back over his shoulder.
Let me explain what I'm doing. I'm asking one kid to show me the kids who were tapped for the White Prince's ship.
Yeah, and you did this right when they're coming out of the building, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first kid, like, it just seems like is immediately thrown by the situation. And the other kids will, slowly come out behind him. And after a moment of pause, like, thinking, the kid, like, shouts inside, Miss Haberdash! Who was tapped by the Inquisitor? Miss Haberdash comes over and says, why do you need to know? And then sees Nilram standing nearby and goes, hello, can I help you?
Hello. I'm curious because I'm doing intellect tests for the White Prince, and we needed to just go over it one more time. I need
Most
to speak
unusual,
with,
he says. We've never had a follow-up like this before. Is everything okay?
It's because of the pirates. We're just making sure that we did it all correctly. I have already spoken to the children at the orphanage, the 5. I'm sure you've heard about them.
No, not at all.
Oh, well. There were 5 tapped there. And I just need to speak with these.
Do you have a symbol of your position? A badge? Something?
No one will give her a look. Are you slowing down the White Prince's business?
I don't see any symbols of a stare on you.
No one will get his collar ready and ask the teacher if he can speak to her without the kids present. Like, just a little bit aside. Like, it's not a huge deal.
I think that might be best, she says, as the kids are still funneling out of the building, and she just pauses and waits because they're all leaving for the day. And give me a charisma check. Let's see if you can read into any of her facial expressions or anything while going down.
Some furloughs, roll 20. Nilram looks different. I want to explain that too, okay?
Yeah, totally.
Might be important.
Yeah, you had your hair braided, you got a coat on. Yeah, you can see, like, as the kids are going, she's, like, doing a head count of them, which is probably something a teacher would do. And then in between, she's, like, looking out in the streets, like, gazing across the streets for someone or something. Maybe it's someone in particular. Maybe it's just making sure that there are people around in general. But she is sort of like...
will kind of step in front of her and make sure her eye contact's on him. and he's going to inform her that there's been an issue at the orphanage. There has been the children who were tapped by the White Prince have been slaughtered, and I have been sent here undercover.
What?
He nods. I have been sent here undercover to get the children and bring them as quickly as possible. So if you could just hand them
they'd all
over.
just left. Why'd you?
Well, they're right there. They should be like right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're this. You know, some of the parents are coming by to pick them up. Others are standing outside the building waiting.
That's why I'm trying not to alarm anybody. If you could just call them back, the ones who were
Oh my
tapped,
God, dead.
this would be perfect.
And she will call out 2 names, and 2 kids will come back over. One of them, a parent will be following after. A mother will be following after the kid, as she's been called back. And we've got Denise, and we've got Shine. Denise and Shine.
He will apologize for the most unusual circumstances, and as they're coming back, he will whisper to tell the teacher, don't tell the parents. It'll just
Of course not.
send
no,
them
no,
into
no,
it.
no.
You know.
Denise, Shine. This is one of the White Prince's men here to talk to you about the tests. And then she looks to Denise's mom. I'm sorry, they had to come back. There were more questions. Apparently, they're not quite done. Denise's mom looks over at you and goes, "Haven't you had enough? My daughter's already coming with you."
Norm will just put his hand up. I just need her and Shine for both 5 minutes, just for a quick.
Okay. She shakes her head.
Norm will
kind of-
pull him to the side, keeping an eye on the teacher.
Yeah.
And ask his questions.
Sure. They're not going to let the kids out of eye range, but you can
Absolutely,
ask your
yeah.
questions. And we will get a 4D61 for Shine, and same thing for Denise. 13s, both of them.
Okay. Norm will be very disappointed. Sigh. And explain to the there was one parent who came over?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Denise's mom was here. Shine's parents aren't around yet.
Okay. He will explain to the one parent that he needs to take her to the Inquisitor's ship as soon as possible.
Well,
So
well
she
then
should go
tomorrow.
home.
We'll have her things ready in a couple days. We thought we had more time.
He nods. He says, "You should go home directly with your parent and grab your things, and I will just take care of Shine then, and bring
Okay.
her to her house. You know where it is, correct, Shine?
She knows. Yeah, I know where her home is.
All right. Take me there." I look to the teacher for approval. He's cool with it.
Yeah, the teacher said, if one of the parents comes by, I'll tell them that you already took her home."
Norm will give a wicked smile. I don't know if you want a charisma check for that. I don't think he can contain it, but yeah.
I'll give her a charisma check to see what she thinks of it. 11 plus 3d6 is set. Oh, 18. She doesn't think too much of it, unfortunately. And in
Okay.
some poor back alleyway, little Shine is gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't
He
think
won't do the
that's-
other ones too hard. Yeah, that's fine.
No.
And then Norm will go and meet up with the captain at the rendezvous.
Okay. Captain,
And we
run.
sail. Yeah, we sail our merry way back to the base. I asked Wiley if he had a good time. Wiley, you enjoy yourself? Get out your system?
Oh, I saw the sights. I smelt the carnival food. I heard the laughter. I saw all the boys and girls and all their dancing and playing about. You know,
Yeah,
I must
listen.
be getting old if I'm sitting here and enjoying the simple things in life instead of the murder and slaughter and pillaging. It comes
There's,
a time.
There's no one left in the base for the next week or two. I can give you some gold if you want to stay in town, find an inn or something. I'll come and pick you up in a few days.
Would you?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, how much do you need? How much does it cost to stay here?
Oh,
you to
10
do
gold should get me
something,
through a
Wiley.
week.
Alright, I give him 20.
There's something I need you to do tonight, Wiley, and he'll put a hand over him and
Okay.
take him, I guess, a little bit away. And he says, Norm will be like, "I'm glad you're staying. There's a child named Denise. She's with the merchant class family, and it is of critical order that she. Well, I think you know what I'm asking. Tonight,
Oh.
she's being picked for the White Prince's
child.
ship. She's gonna be one of the murderous White Prince's men soon.
Are you purposely doing this out of my earshot? Yeah.
Yeah, no one will inform you
Okay.
later.
Wiley looks at you and he listen, mate, I got a peg leg and no hand or a knife for a hand. I'm not the most surreptitious person on the planet anymore. I do this thing 75% chance I get caught. You know, if I run, it goes
Come with me, you'll be
bang,
perfectly
bang,
safe.
bang. You know, nobody likes talking to me. I'm highly memorable and I make a lot of noise everywhere I walk. I think this is a task that I'm not well suited for. No offense.
Norm kind of sighs and nods. I guess one going to the White Prince isn't too bad. I've dealt with the others. And
Just get
he'll-
yourself on the boat and get them all.
Norm will scratch his head. I'll talk to the captain, and I'll slip him 4 gold.
He pats you with the stump of his arm.
Let's make a move, Norum. Wiley, how long do you want here? 3 nights?
3
2
nights
nights?
should be more than enough. I'll get bored
All right.
after that point.
I'll see you here in, what, 36 hours, 48 hours?
Norm will
Splendid.
actually give him an extra 30 gold and whisper to him, in case we can't come back, you might need to find your own way back.
We'll be back, don't worry.
Ah.
We'll just be sitting around doing nothing. I'll see you in 3 days, Wiley.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
on our boat ride back, Nilrim will probably gleefully.
Well, I think I'd probably say to you, so what do you get up to while you're out there, Norum? I'm sure you just went and sat in a tavern, right? Had a few drinks?
Nilrim will gleefully kind of describe to you what happened and the precautions that he had to take and the measures that he had to do, and try and explain that it was the best for the crew.
You know, I wouldn't have endorsed this if I thought you were going to kill the ones you didn't take. You can't just go around murdering children, Norum. That's bad. That's bad mojo right there.
The issue was, captains, that these children are going to be monsters for the White Prince, and
Yeah, I
these
understand
ones
that. But
aren't
you're not
going
to
to be regular foot soldiers. These are
Listen,
going to be the
you're not
people
going to
with magic
destroy the
muscles.
White Prince by
Milrim, did you
killing
murder
a-
a child again?
killing a
God
few children that in
it.
5 years' time might be an issue. If all goes well, we'll be done with this place before then. Just, listen, I don't know if you believe in fate, but all of this stuff you're doing out here, it's bringing it, I can feel it. Can you not feel it? The oppressive black cloud of shame and evil hanging over us. It's one thing to pirate a few ships, kill a few peasants, who cares? But children, just think about your fate, Nelraman, and what you're doing, and you might be dragging us all down with you here. I'm going
Yeah,
to tell
these
you what
kids
to
are
do
gonna
in
go
your own
and be-
time.
These kids are going to go and be brainwashed into monsters. You've seen them for the White Prince.
I understand, but look at you. Would you have wanted to be killed?
Then serve? Yes.
Yeah. Really?
Yes, then be a servant to someone? Absolutely. I did them a favor, if anything.
I roll a charisma check to judge Nilrim's words. Do I feel like
Nilrim
he's telling me
believes
the
this with
truth?
all of his heart. He would rather die than be chained. to
Okay.
someone.
All right. Well, so I take on your genuineness. I kind of like stare at you for a minute and then just kind of like shake my head. This is something else, Nilrim. What are
You're
you?
supposed to let the White Prince take them?
I mean, as opposed to what? Slaughtering them?
Just the ones who were picked. I didn't do anything needless.
They
So
might
I
not have
burned
even
their
made the
orphanage
grade.
down.
They might not have made the grade, right?
They did.
Is that how it works? Everyone who gets picked?
This is how it works. They go back for a few days, they gather their things, and they go on the ship and they're gone.
I just go back to rowing, I think, with this, thinking on this.
All right. Back on the other side. It doesn't take very long for our party to blow through their money. The other members, Shoshana, Mary Beth, John Brophy, James, Janet, they all blow through their money. They're 10 gold each in 2 days and come crawling back looking for you guys, empty pocketed.
I think real quick, the night before this,
Mm-hmm.
I think Sale and Archie are just getting like pissed drunk
Mm-hmm.
at some tavern. Because they got nothing else going on.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point they're just having like a random conversation, and there's some song coming on from the piano, and at some point, randomly out of nowhere, Archie, super drunk, he just kind of grabs Sale on his shoulder really hard. He's like, Sale, so I gotta tell you something.
What is it, Archie?
I saw him, Sale. I spoke to him, you know?
Who? The White Prince?
I swam out to him and I spoke to him and he spoke to me. And I said that I'd be serving him. He said he wouldn't make me never, ever be afraid again, and that I could always protect my crew. He swam into my mouth. It was insane, Sale. And then Archie will just like flop over on the table, blacked out drunk.
I take out my knife, and there can only be one servant of Rome. No. I'll be in shock at this news, because I thought I was like the only person who could actually serve Rohi. I'll kind of like not believe it because he's so drunk. I'm like, this is like some bullshit. He'd had a dream, and I'll pick him up and I'll bring him back to the room. But I will be like, as I'm falling asleep, kind of like, I'm like, man, maybe that is true. That's crazy.
You had that mark
Maybe I
that
am
appeared on his
forcing people.
back.
Oh yeah. Do I have that mark?
You haven't seen a mark like that on you, but also you can't see your back.
Is there a mirror in this room?
There's not, no.
There was also the sword, right? That burned me.
Did I see you get burnt by the sword?
I think so, right?
You were in the room when he was doing this, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like, actually grabbing it or making any verbal statements. There was just maybe a visual to have picked up on or missed.
Well, we even did the whole bit about like maybe it's burning the people that are jacked and stuff like that, right?
Oh, right.
I-
Yeah.
I think there's two things that Sale is feeling right now. Sale is feeling like this is his true brother, because now they're in it together. This is the brother he never had. He's always had an antagonistic relationship with his family. But now Archie is really, like, he's up the same river without a paddle that he is. He's serving some unknown deity. But also at the same time, he's kind of like, there's like a little bit of him that's like, I thought this was my thing. Like, it's like this was my thing, and now it's being taken from me. And just for a moment, he does contemplate hurting Archie, but he bats it away because he's like, no, Archie's my brother, he's my friend, of course.
I think when their scene's done, Norm has a bit more to say.
But that's basically it. I kind of go to sleep with that knowledge in my mind.
All right.
The next day, all the money spent, the party heads back to the boat.
Roll that encounter die. If there are guards there.
And you find the vessel is here. But you notice some big-ass chain has been attached to the front of the boat that ties it to a tree. And there's a guard posted at the boat.
I'll go up to the guard and say, "How's it going? Any more of you around?"
Excuse me?
That's my boat you've got chained up there. Perfectly
Ah,
legally parked.
excellent. We've been waiting for you. You need to see the Inquisitor in the main port if you wish to have your boat unchained. This is not any way that you can dock here. There's no proper docking procedures. You should be prepared to pay a fine and explain yourself. Is this your crew?
Well,
A sad, sorry crew if I've seen one.
I mean,
This is
like
dope.
they're not like the main crew.
How do you
like-
expect to sail a
This is
boat
the
like this
B
with just
team.
6 people? 7 people.
I could show you if you unchain the boat.
Yeah.
Actually. It's
No,
We're
no.
very skilled sailors.
You must go see the Inquisitor in the town harbor.
Okay, what if I told you that I already went to see the Inquisitor and he said you should unchain the boat, and I'll
I don't have the
jingle
key.
whatever coins I have in my. You don't have the key. Okay.
Nope, the Inquisitor has the key.
Damn. How big is the chain?
You know, not like big ship chaining size. There's no way.
How big is the tree?
It's a good tree. Yeah, it's a really big tree. There's no way you're gonna be able to knock it over.
How long
Well-
would it take to cut through the tree?
Or for Archie to point it down.
You would need like a 2-man saw and like 20 minutes to cut through the tree if you're untrained lumberjacks. And it
Which
would also
part of the
be
boat?
highly visible.
Which part of the boat is it chained to?
It's through one of the oar locks. Actually through a pair of oar locks. So you'd have to like begin to bust up the side of the boat and ruin 2 of the oar locks, which with your ghostly rowers, does that just mean you're not going to have 2 oars on that side, and so the boat's just going to go in a circle because you have got too much power on one side? Oh my god.
We just destroy the other 2 on the other side as well.
Or block them up? Yeah.
Yeah.
You drive a hard bargain.
I will turn to James with a questioning look. Like, you got any ideas, buddy?
James shrugs and says, Soldier, what is your rank and unit? Soldier, like, frustrating, like, snaps to attention and begins to, you know, say who they are, what their position is, give, like, their name and numbers and my commanding officer, blah, 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 blah. And as the person, like, snaps to do their formal duty of announcing themselves and declaring themselves, James swings a punch.
Good punch, James. God damn,
Legend.
you've got it.
Is it a good
Tie
time to the tree?
It's a good blow. It will land on the person who
learned,
is
right?
just reading for 3 points of damage. Great job, James. Against the guard who has find their HP bar.
Sal, did you see him do the stance and everything?
He did
He's
it.
gotten
He
so
hit him.
good.
I mean, you're a good teacher.
Natural. Thanks.
I never thought you'd be good at teaching, but like you are full of surprises, Archie.
Ooh, there's no way you can KO this person. They've got 2d8 plus 2 hit points. 11 hit points. The guard takes the blow across the jaw and looks completely stunned. Initiative time.
Oh, that's my favorite part. I've been meaning to do this all day.
Everyone, I think the other party members are a little bit surprised as well, not quite
Yeah.
ready to react. Where is our initiative? Archie goes at 8. The guard goes at 9. Okay.
Ooh, Archie, what the fuck?
You go first, Archie. With a
rolled a 1.
natural 1, you give the left hook, which goes whoosh, sailing
I'm
right in front
hungover.
of their face. The right hook comes
Okay.
Crit.
with a hit.
Crit.
Oh, you crit on 16s now. I don't know why the combat music isn't playing, but you will do 12 points of damage. And the guard will just pass the fuck out in the sand.
He died.
Yeah. There are still like other people about down the street down the beach a little bit, kind of far away. But the disappearance of this guard isn't going to like, it's only a matter of time before someone finds him. Minutes, maybe half an
Now-
hour.
In my mind, if I were to call lightning this tree, could I split it off and like it's like my one tool?
It might split the tree. It also might just like burn the tree, or it might like break the top part of the tree. It's unlikely that you could split the entire tree with one lightning bolt.
What if
You
it
need
hit
a
the
bunch of
chain?
You don't know. You don't even know if you can
big
target
chain.
something as fine as a chain with a spell like this.
We need to have a moment here, Archie. We need to think about how we get out of this. I could heat some metal. We could maybe burn the chain loose.
What do we do with the metal bars in that one place? We had Seymour, right? That's not gonna.
Yeah.
He's not here, and
Yeah, we don't have Neal room, so he can make you big, so you can just snap the chain.
what if we just stole a different ship?
Yes, let's go, baby.
All right, we will cliffhanger that at that question and come back to Nilrim, who had one more thing he wanted to do before we ended for the day.
No one wanted to ask John what he did with his time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I went to visit Nightingale, caught up with Ajora, and got paid 500 gold this month,
That was it?
which is nice. And no, that's not it, I suppose. You know the blacksmith, Tom?
I think I've heard you talk about him.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he had a problem with one of the gods, so I dealt with it.
One of the White Prince's guards.
Yeah.
No one will think to himself. So you'll kill people.
No, Rome.
who have
Don't
problems.
even suggest it. It's not the same.
It's just murder's murder, Captain.
Yeah, it's not how
We're
it
in
works.
the same. You and I are in the same business. You just
Yeah.
have some preconceived notion that kids are off limit, whereas I have a more open mind.
Listen, I'm out for myself. I'm gonna do what I need to do to get by.
And that's the
But
difference
there's-
between you and me, Captain. I'm out.
There's
for us.
limits, all right?
I'm out
There's
for the
limits.
crew.
I'm not. Okay,
You're not for the
number
crew?
one, I don't think that's really helping the crew, and number two, I don't really think that that's your motivation. You're blinded by rage, Norum. You can't see the wood for the trees.
I received no joy killing those kids.
Yeah, you sure about that?
No, genuinely didn't. So he'll nod. I received joy
Mhm.
from people who go out of line and don't.
You know, I've got to sleep tonight thinking that I told you to go to the school.
And the school teacher has to sleep tonight, knowing that she let me take the child.
Yeah. Right.
And
Well,
I'll
listen.
sleep easy tonight, knowing the White Prince won't have more wizards and clerics going against us.
Yeah, well, when you've got no empathy, you probably sleep very soundly. Listen, it's your business, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, a few children's not that big of a deal. But I would. There's more to this world than meets the eye, you know? Your fate, your destiny. This is some bad magics and bad stuff you're dealing with, and there's always a price.
What the Fountain of Youth's for, Captain. I'll never have to meet my maker.
Yeah, maybe. You remember how we got here? The ship sinking on the way over to Solemn?
Nods.
I'd done some fucked up shit in the month prior to that, and I'm convinced that that's the reason that ship sunk.
What'd you do?
It's all sorts of fucked up shit. Killing, pillaging, raping, all of the typical pirate stuff. I was just on a bit of a bender. I was drinking, I was just going mad. And yeah, that's the punishment for it. There's something out there. Cosmic balance, if you will.
Gnome shrugs. We'll see.
Well, anyway, the weather's nice, right? You want to like play a game or something tonight? It's just us two. I thought Wiley was going to be there to make things a bit less awkward, but looks like we've only got each other for company. You think you can put your books down for a night? Keep your old captain entertained?
You scared to go to sleep, Captain? You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, not for now.
He'll put a hand on you, smile, and say never. We're friends. And I like to keep it that way.
Remember, you said that we couldn't lie, right?
No nonsense. I'm genuine.
Yeah. Well, maybe you are. For now, Nilrim, we're friends, but you really gotta start listening to advice. I mean, by any account, I could argue that Archie gets to beat the shit out of you for this.
It's
Right?
hot, and there's no trouble, right?
No, yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
If something happens to Wiley, then Archie can beat the shit out of me.
I need to be more careful with my wording in the future when we're making these kind of agreements.
Yeah, make sure to add next time.
No
Don't
slaughtering
get into
children.
trouble or slaughters any children.
Yeah. I will now, like, I can't think of what I would say, but I changed the subject to get away from this conversation. It's making me feel uneasy to have. As I was just talking about us both being in the base, I start to feel a bit scared that no one else is around. And you could probably kill me and get rid of my body and lie and get away with it.
Does it make you feel good that Nilrim doesn't, though?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So I sort of, I move the conversation away and make a point to just forget about it and don't bring it up with you anymore.
Okay. It's not brought up. I guess we in the base wait while they do their thing. Then
Yeah,
find
I
out
get
what-
Wiley in 3 days. That'll probably be a week. But yeah, I think we pick up next week.
Okay. I have a few
And-
questions if we want to go through those.
Yeah, let's do the question.
Out of character, what do you guys all think when Archie willingly swallowed that aquatic creature? Also for Yan, while it was happening, were you worried you might lose the character?
So I had trust in Neal, but also I was just playing the character. Like Archie really, really, really like wanted to never be afraid like that again, and he was convinced that this was a test, so he would have gone in. So if Archie would have died for that, that would have been the story, and that would have been okay.
Makes sense.
And I guess him swallowing the squid, I have no idea what happened, and I'm really excited to find out how this where this goes. I'm super, super excited for this arc.
Anybody else have any strong feelings about it? I don't really think I have any.
I just think that, like, you know, that kind of moment is best when you do commit to it and you are willing to, like, risk your character to go for it. Not only does it make it more satisfying for you and for the audience, but I think it's like the price that you almost have to pay to get this kind of like boon outside of like the normal mechanics.
I legitimately thought Archie was dead.
Did you?
I thought Koibu was like, you know what? No one's died yet. It's time for Archie to go.
And it'll be
I
his
thought
own
he was
fault.
like, he needed to nerf the fists. He needed to get him out of the campaign. He was like, this is the perfect moment. Let's drown him. That's what I thought.
Dude.
Question for the cast. As someone who found a Ties of Death through Pokemon challenges, I thought a fun question might be, which Pokemon do you think reminds you most of your character in game?
I
I
mean,
don't
like
know.
for me, gotta be Machamp. Come on.
Champ? That makes
That's
sense.
true.
Are there any psychopathic Pokemons? I guess Mr. Mime. I don't know. He's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
There is some Pokemon in the later generation that have like really fucked up like lore. But I don't know any of it. I don't know.
I'd probably be like a water Pokemon, right? I do a lot of watery stuff.
Yeah.
Is there water lightning Pokemon? I don't know.
I always think of what is this Pokemon called? Hold on. Delmise. It's like this like sunken anchor that's grown over with like algae and stuff. That's what I think about. Sending it to the chat.
Hell
Is
yeah.
there any Pokemon that's known for, like, whose specialist skills, I mean, are climbing and listening?
Climbing and listening.
Wasn't there that like little monkey Pokemon with big ears?
Yeah, maybe
Oh
something
yeah,
like
like
that.
Apom, something like that. Yeah, I could see it.
Apom.
Or I
Yeah.
found a little picture of a Charizard here in a pirate hat.
Oh, perfect.
So
Yeah.
potentially that as
That's
well. Yeah.
I was thinking of Weavile or Sneasel rather with John.
Sneasel.
Because Sneasel has like a little feather in its head, and it's also like this
Yeah,
sneaky,
okay.
like
This
rogue
one
kind
looks
of
pretty
thing.
cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with Sneasel.
Question for Archie. You and Magic Man did not have a great start. Are you still suspicious of him? What are your thoughts
Yeah, I think if he learns about this whole child slaughtering thing, he's definitely gonna not like that. Um, uh, definitely still suspicions going on. He's kind of gotten used to it, and he's part of the crew. So as long as the captain wants to keep him on, he's gonna be loyal to that decision. But that doesn't mean that he has to like necessarily like him or want to interact with him a lot. I think he's just trying to avoid him at this point.
now? A question for the cast. If one of your characters died, would you find a replacement for the crew? Yeah, I think so. I think when eventually Nilram either dies or fucks off to go do his own thing, I want to play a dwarven fighter.
I think this is quite a good campaign for re-rolling. I feel
I
like
agree.
it would be quite easy for us to recruit another person. So yeah, I think.
And I think it's also a campaign where like player character deaths work really well with like building on like the other characters. Like I've had this idea of like if John were to die, like the implications for Archie as a character are huge, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like the incentive is pretty big to like keep playing.
Yeah.
True. All right, that's all the questions for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to play a druid bard just because of the conflict with Nilram.
True.
A druid bard. Wow. Could you pick a more underpowered chill class?
Add fucking thief in there, I guess, huh?
Yeah, druid bard thief. Everyone else is level 6. You're level 2, but you know you've got a lot of skills.
All right.
That's it for this week. We'll be back next week, probably on Tuesday, for more
Yep.
Tides of Death. Make sure you check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Tides of Death. Helps out a ton, so thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you in the Reddit.